up. Might be some technical difficulties here, but give us another 2 minutes and we'll go ahead and get started. All right, I believe it is time. Okay, so good morning, everyone, and welcome to the beginning of our Plug and Play Food Batch 8. So today is our selection day. I'll be brief and leave the spotlight to the 27 amazing companies that were chosen to pitch today. Our anchor partners will get a chance to vote on the ones they would like to see join our program. So tomorrow we'll have our board meeting to discuss this in more detail. Then Thursday, we will have our deep dive sessions with the startups. So make sure to remember the startups that you really like, because you'll get to choose 6 of them that you'd like to have a deep dive session with. So the startups chosen for today's pitches will have the opportunity to participate in our 3-month accelerator program, which includes a variety of mentorship sessions and networking events. And yeah, we hope this can all transition to in-person soon. So I see the agenda slide is up. So today's session will last until about 11:30 Pacific time. I'll be brief with my opening remarks and leave 2 hours for the startup pitches. We'll have a brief bio break halfway through the pitches, and yeah, we'll wrap up around 11:30 a.m. So I'll be brief with my slides, but this is one of my favorite slides for Plug and Play. It shows where the company started. In a small building in Palo Alto, just renting out office space to early stage technology companies. Over time, our company has grown to face many new changes, and as we really figured out our identity and value offering, we've adjusted over time. Today, we have over 30 offices globally, and over 500 people dedicated to finding amazing startups and connecting them with our forward-thinking corporations to help them scale. So to go over a little bit what's going on with the food program, so last year our food program made some amazing progress, making our first ever expansion outside of our home office. We launched offices in Sao Paulo, Brazil, as well as Milan, Italy, and they both now have a fully built out team, office space, and a really strong group of corporate partners. So our food program has long time been planning to expand to the ag tech space, which really works hand in hand with our food CPG partner interests. There are a lot of challenges to tackle here. The majority of the human population works in agriculture, uses 70% of our fresh water, and it contributes more greenhouse gas pollution than all cars, trucks, planes combined. And 80% of the farmland over the last 30 years came from deforestation. And I don't think we want to cut down any more trees. I think the only arable land left is in Latin America and Southern Africa. So yeah, we're really motivated to help in the space, not just with the automation side, which is a big part of it in the kind of the developed nations, but really to help find new crops with better yields, food preservation technologies, and better transportation methods. So there's a lot that we can do to help with the situation. So despite the virus situation, we have been able to expand our food and agri-tech programs to tackle these challenges. So now we have a program running in Fargo, as well as Nanjing, China, which helps with our startup sourcing and running programs related to food and ag. So really big shout out for Bremer Bank, Microsoft, OCP, CHS, and the government of Nanjing for making these programs possible. And during our board meetings, we'll go into more detail about how we are managing these programs. But it's a really great asset for us, having the ability to source in all these different regions and have just more breadth in the ag side. So if we go to the next slide. So our overall partners are working on a broad set of challenges that work across multiple industries. Ingredient technology has been, over the past year and a half, the biggest piece of our program. And one of the reasons it's important is that almost half the adult population in the US is obese. So it's 40% So our program aims to find technologies to better understand individual nutrition needs and to find alternative proteins, new sweeteners, bacterias to help address these challenges. The protein side has become one of the more prominent sides of our business. And just to give you some more numbers on that side, so we slaughter about 75 billion animals per year, which is about 10x the human population. So if cattle were a country, it would rank number 3 for largest greenhouse gas emitter. 36% of all farmland is used to feed these animals. And I think more prevalent in recent times are diseases from animals called zoonosis. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. And that is responsible for 3 of 4 newly identified infectious diseases, killing 2 million people a year. So consider the coronavirus and also the swine flu in China, which has killed off over half the hogs in China. So this year, yeah, they're down over 55% in their hog population. So with all these changes going on in the world, it's a great time to revisit some or all of these areas. So new product formulations, new packaging, supply chain, to make sure we're addressing new needs that are coming up in these times. If we go to the next slide. So big shout out to our partners. So what makes all this possible is the support of our partners. Our line of sight into each one of these huge brands you see here starts with the person we call the champion. This is the person that is responsible for managing the relationship with Plug and Play and bring startups inside their corporate ecosystem. These individuals fight huge battles every day, trying to dispel huge and old corporations with the ways of the past and really help them look forward to the future. So big shout out to Pepsi, Tyson, Glico for being such long-standing partners for over 3 years now. So really exciting. Now, if we get to the next slide, we have one of my favorite topics, Chicago. As everyone here is aware, we are expanding our program to Chicago next February. It will be a hybrid program between Silicon Valley and Chicago, so don't worry about missing out on any activities here. We will still have our Focus Week and Expos out at headquarters. This office, again, under the request of our partners, it will facilitate really close connections with our partner corporations and hopefully stimulate leadership to take a closer look at game-changing technologies that will define the future of their company and our industry. So the office will span the same areas of our existing program: agriculture, ingredient technology, supply chain, and packaging technology. We'll also be working alongside our retail partners and hope to tackle some of the challenges that are coming with the brick and mortar retail business, as well as changes in e-commerce. So we will be announcing our founding partners for this office the next couple weeks. So early August, we'll have a big announcement with the people that are helping support this office. And if you'd like to be involved, please make sure to have a discussion with us today, because we're putting together the start of the program pretty soon. So we're really excited. I think, as you all know, I'm moving out there, so planning to. Yeah, Plug and Play Chicago. So the main event today are the pitches. So today we have 27 amazing startups that will be pitching to you. Each company will have 4 minutes to pitch and 1 minute for Q&A. If you have any questions, please post them in the Q&A box at the bottom middle of your screen, and we will make sure to ask them after the pitch is done. For the anchor partners, please make sure to take note of the 6 companies that you would like to meet during our deep dive sessions. If you recall, last selection day, we also did a deep dive session and went really well. We thought we got really good feedback. So yeah, we hope this is a success for you. And of course, this one will be a remote. So please share these choices with your account manager or Gabby. Either one will be able to kind of help coordinate that until the deep dive session. So lastly, for the anchor partners, please don't forget to vote. The digital ballot should have been shared with you and again is posted here. That being said, next up we have our startup pitch session. So leading this will be our very own Ventures associate, Michelle Shi, who sourced all the companies you see here today. She leads our program's investments and most of our deal flows. And what also is little known is that she's an amazing artist. So welcome, Michelle Shi.
Thank you, Brian. Like you said, I'll be your MC for today. So without further ado, let's get started with the pitches. So first up is Erin from Day 2. Day 2 provides personalized nutrition and actionable insights for people to maintain normal blood sugar levels based on their microbiome.
Hi, my name is Aaron Del Duca, and I lead microbiome discovery at Day 2. Day 2 was founded in 2015 and has raised about $48 million to date. Our technology is based on over 10 years of clinical research, which has been published in top-tier journals. We use the microbiome and data science to personalize nutrition and accelerate discovery. And our first product is a personalized nutrition intervention that solves for glycemic control. Our route to market is through self-insured employers, payers, and health systems. And since the launch of our first product in 2016, we've grown our user base to over 65,000 individuals. Providing healthcare to those with diabetes costs on average 2 to 3 times as much as providing care to individuals without diabetes. Our solution reduces A1C, which results in a net savings of about $1,500 to $3,000 per person per year. When we do the math, this first product of ours addresses a multi-billion-dollar unmet market need. Here's a bit about how our solution works. Based on clinical trials involving thousands of people and generating billions of data points, Day 2 proved that individuals respond uniquely to the same food, and that the gut microbiome is an important driver in that response. Using this information, we created a machine learning model that's able to very accurately predict blood sugar responses. We've implemented this in an intuitive app where users simply search our database of millions of foods for what they'd like to eat, and they receive a simple numerical score that illustrates whether or not that food is good for them. In this example, the user was thinking about having toast for breakfast. And based on the user's microbiome profile and personal health information, the app computes that toast isn't all that great, so it receives a low score. So what to do next? We don't expect our users to be nutrition experts, so we created a feature called Auto Improve, which uses artificial intelligence to make small but significant adjustments to the meal to improve the score and help them balance their blood sugar levels. In this case, you'll see avocado toast with egg is better, but mozzarella toast is best for this user based on that health information. Coaching is also available through a variety of channels when needed. Next, I'd like to show a case study about how our solution works in the real world. After 6 months on the Day 2 program, a hospital system in Alabama measured a significant reduction in A1C, a significant improvement in time in range, all the while showing very, very high engagement levels and a user satisfaction score giving us a net promoter score of about 88, which is fantastic. More broadly speaking, the problem that we solve is that nutritional guidelines are one size fits all and are based on the food to be eaten without much consideration for the person eating the food. Nutrition and the microbiome are very strongly connected. And because the microbiome has been implicated in diseases which carry over 7 trillion in healthcare burden, we have an exciting road ahead. On the discovery side of the business, we've collected health information and profiled the microbiomes of over 65,000 individuals, which allows us to do research on an unprecedented scale and allows us to mine insights that were just not achievable until now. For example, in this study, we compared the microbiomes of 15,000 individuals with obesity to healthy controls. We found microbes and microbial functions outlined in the red circles, whose presence explains about 4 units of BMI. That's 34 pounds, or about 15 kilograms of body mass. Imagine that as a probiotic or a functional food. We think our in silico discovery platform can save time and reduce risk of product development cycles and clinical discovery programs. So in short, Day 2 is using microbiome-powered personalized nutrition to successfully manage diabetes today. Given our vast knowledge base, our expertise in machine learning, nutrition, and microbiome science, we believe we're uniquely positioned to be the discovery partner of choice. And we look forward to advancing precision nutrition together. Thanks very much.
Great, thank you so much, Aaron. So we'll start the 1-minute live Q&A. So if anyone has any questions, please use the Q&A box below at the bottom of the Zoom panel to ask any of your questions. So I guess to start, Aaron, how would you maybe describe how you work with corporations?
We typically engage with R&D teams, product development teams to think about formulations, how to create sort of better for you products, and do a lot of in silico prediction that can sort of take that cycle through a much quicker and faster iteration process. So that's typically where we start. And we've done that successfully with a few of the Fortune 100 sort of food giants, and we're very, very excited about personal nutrition as a theme.
Got it. Are you able to share any case studies that you've worked on before?
Without sharing specific names, what we've done is we've taken a look at food and beverage specifically, and what we've done is we've been able to kind of go away from individual studies of glycemic index, and we've been able to make predictive models of glycemic response. So imagine you want a product to be more tolerated by a larger segment of the population. That's something that we can do very, very quickly and easily, and saving hundreds of thousands of dollars in the trials that would otherwise be needed to prove out those sorts of endpoints.
Got it. Super helpful. I don't see any other questions in the Q&A box, but Erin should be online for a little while if you want to ask. Actually, there is one more question. What role do you need for corporations?
Can you repeat that?
What role do you need for corporations? So I think they're meaning to ask, what would you need from the corporation to maybe implement a specific project? Do you need any specific data?
Great question. I think the role that a corporation can play is to help us close the loop. What I mean by that is we can use the microbiome and data science to tailor specific nutritional interventions to solve for a variety of things. Our first indication is glycemic control for diabetes, but we can think about foods that can alleviate the symptoms of IBS. We can think about foods that modulate the microbiome to have an enhancement effect to certain medications that folks are taking. And so from the nutrition industry, being able as a partner to provide those specific foods that our algorithms help us, identify, I think would be an awesome win-win.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Erin. So that's it for our Q&A session.
Thank you.
So we'll move on to our second startup. So please welcome John from Stenco. With oxygen barrier properties better than most plastics and a low cost of production, Sten film is the answer to any number of problems.
CEO of Stenco. I founded Stenco in 2019 to address an existential threat to our planet. We, as a society, have created a crisis of convenience fueled by plastic. The raw tonnage of plastic being created is hard to even imagine. Put into perspective, 300 million tons is approximately 2 kilos of plastic for every person on Earth. That's created every year. Of this amount, 91% is not even recycled. Eventually, much of it makes its way into our environment and landfills and oceans. Single-use plastics are almost half of that's produced. We depend on them to keep our food fresh, our supply chains efficient, but we also use them because we have become a grab-and-go culture that demands convenience. The numbers are staggering. Coffee pods, candy wrappers, straws, food pouches, the list goes on. Usage that lasts just seconds will result in a waste problem that will be around for 10,000 years. What can we really do about it? There are several biodegradable options that are on the market. In fact, I've had a long career as a polymer chemist in pharmaceuticals, where the idea occurred to me that materials used in medical or drug delivery applications can be modified to enhance certain properties for food packaging. Specifically, formulating a barrier film that would remain totally biodegradable while limiting oxygen permeability. We call it the Sten film system. Our product can be applied to paper or other materials as a multi-laminar biodegradable packaging system that forms a stout chemical oxygen barrier and may be customized for a variety of applications. No other options in the market can make these claims. At Stenco, we believe that our data speaks louder than our words. Our oxygen transmission values are beyond many established non-biodegradable or traditional films that are in everyday use. Depending on the formulation, we are an order of magnitude better than some of these options. You may say it's the best thing since sliced bread. In fact, it's about 50 times better than the packaging used for sliced bread. We have checked many boxes already and feel very strongly that Sten film is ready to advance to commercialization. many similar products have failed for not answering these very simple questions at the outset. The markets are huge. While we don't have time to go into any details here today, everyone listening has likely used hundreds of single-use plastic items that can be candidates for our product. We have prototyped some of these already and are looking to expand the list very soon with the right partners. We're a technology provider, and we expect to license our IP. As such, we've built an impressive base of provisional patents, which are currently in U.S. conversion. This is backed up with a catalog of formulations and with extensive and constant review of both current and prior art. Working with Stemco couldn't be easier. Help us understand your needs, and if there is a good technical fit, we will be with you every step of the way. We're a closely held private company, funded locally by a network of like-minded and strategic investors. We've outfitted our workforce and our facility with an eye towards successful efficiency. There are several discussions going on with household names in this space, and we really can't talk about who those are due to NDA, but we'd love to talk to you about how we can work together for the good of the planet. Thank you for your time. I will now answer any questions that you may have.
Great, thank you so much, John. So we do have a question in the Q&A box. They ask, what is the water vapor transmission rate, and is your packaging suitable for snacks and packaging?
Sure. Our WVTR, we've been able to have a range of values. So it's really based on a balancing act between OTR and WVTR, but we've been able to get as low as 5 on certain formulations.
Got it. And how much is the target price per bottle?
That's really a little bit difficult to estimate. I mean, our raw material costs are approximately $4,000 a ton. But if you're talking a 25 micron coating, then that goes obviously a long way in surface area.
Got it. Thank you so much, John. That's it.
Sure. Thank you.
So we'll move on to our third startup. We have Rachel from MyAir, a functional personal superfood for stress management.
Stress is the global silent killer. My name is Rachel Alconi, and for the past 20 years, I had a stressful career as VP Marketing at Teva, the leading generic pharma company, and the CEO of the snacks division at Nestle, the leading food corporate. As a business leader, an executive manager, a mother, and a caregiver to my parents, stress has become a massive burden in my life. I couldn't breathe. I didn't have enough air. In fact, 75% of the adult population in the US has reported suffering from stress in the past month, and chronic stress is number 6 killer factor. Yes, we all have stressful lives, but can we manage our stress? In a world when we manage our diet and manage our sports, it is essential that we will start to manage our stress, and personal nutrition is part of the solution. We are MyAir, a functional food company specialized in personal stress management. Imagine, once a month, you get a box to your doorstep with your name on it. In the box, you will find a set of tasty and healthy nutrition bars made with a mixture of plant-based molecule, active terpenes, and super herbs. Our proprietary formulations are based on plants, terpenes, and adaptogens, a group of super herbs that can support the body's natural ability to heal with stress through the endocrine and autonomic nervous system. Those nutrition bars are proven to reduce stress and tailored to your specific stress profile and levels. When talking about chronic stress, one size does not fit all. Stress has many faces. For example, stress affects me mainly at night on my sleep quality, but stress affects one of our users mainly in the mornings on his energy levels. Chronic stress might create focus problems or muscle tensions. So how can we tailor your bars to your personal stress effects? Well, luckily, we live in the age of big data. And through our research on stress, we were able to develop a super smart, patent-pending algorithm based on AI technology. Our personalization mechanism, based on psychological and physiological markers, through any smartwatch, We analyze physiological data and combine it with psychological data through cognitive assessment. Our patent-pending technology offers deep profiling and long-term personal stress management routine. The unique combination of body and mind creates the best profiling. Our business model is based on a monthly package with a fixed number of snacks. Each box contains anti-stress bars tailor-made to each user's stress profile. We offer a wellness routine management system based on personalized, long-term, ongoing data. We will not sell products, we will acquire consumers. MyAir is at a meeting point of three booming trends: functional food, personalized nutrition, and stress management. We have added values on our competitors. We were lucky enough to gather around our vision a team of experienced executive and scientists from pharmaceuticals, food, and technology industries, and respectful investors. Currently, we prepare ourselves to our alpha launch. So, MyAir's purpose is to provide stressless routine. So join us to the future of food. Food with a purpose. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rachel. So if anyone has any questions, please answer them or submit them in the box below. So Rachel, can you maybe describe what your IP is around this nutritional formulation of your bars?
Sure, yeah. So our IP is actually even patent pending, and we have science behind our formulations, which are based on terpenes and adaptogens and functional plants. And the algorithm itself that we developed with Professor Daniela Koffer from Berkeley, that actually combined between psychological cognitive assessment to physiological data that we are gaining from wearables.
Mm-hmm. And do you have studies that prove significant decrease in stress from the products?
So we already started preliminary research. We conducted the first internal research among 35 users, and we gained very good results. And now we are heading toward the next phase, which is going to be even larger research. And the third stage is going to be with HMOs here in Israel, which is a very good beta site for research and conducting scientific improvement with patients.
Got it. So there are a couple other questions in the Q&A box. So if you want to stay online and answer those in the box, unfortunately, you have to move on to the next company, but you can definitely go ahead and answer those. So thank you so much.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
So for our next startup, we have Jasmine from Shiru. To feed people sustainably, Shiru leverages machine learning and precision biology to identify and create ideal food proteins.
Hi everyone, my name is Jasmine Hume. I'm the founder and CEO of Shiru. I want to thank Plug and Play for putting the event together today and for the opportunity to participate. And I also want to thank all of the corporates that are joining in the discussion today. So at a glance, what Shiru does, our mission is actually to feed people sustainably. With considering the growing global population by 2050, expected to reach 10 billion people globally, as well as thinking about the change in the food supply that results from climate change, we have a big job to do. So to feed people sustainably, Shiru is leveraging machine learning and precision biology to be able to identify and create ideal food proteins for targeted specific applications. We were founded last year in 2019, and our headquarters is in Berkeley in California. We're accelerating the protein shift at Shiru by addressing a huge and rapidly changing market. So between meat alternatives, dairy alternatives, and egg alternatives, Shiru is creating functional protein ingredients that can cut across all of those different application areas because they're functional based on their chemistries. So regardless of whether you're trying to replace meat proteins or egg proteins or dairy proteins, our technology allows for us to identify proteins that would enable for the market to go from more traditional animal-based proteins towards the alternative market. Here are two examples of how we work with customers. We do this by identifying new ingredient solutions that allow them to access these fast-growing markets. So the first company on the left, Company A, is actually making plant-based meat alternatives. They currently use egg as a binder, and so they can address the vegetarian market, but not the vegan market. They're really excited for the potential to use our first protein ingredient, which is a high-strength gelling protein, to be able to enable them to formulate vegan meat alternatives. Similarly, Company B actually wants to make a vegan yogurt alternative under their brand. And they're looking at a similar ingredient from our product portfolio to be able to enable them to formulate vegan yogurts that rely on a gelling functionality. So our technology relies on an iterative approach that we use to identify the best natural proteins via machine learning. So the machine learning comes in the first part, where we're using computational science and machine learning to discover, where we screen for ideal protein structures computationally. Once we identify those proteins, we actually need to create them, which we do through biofermentation. Following that, we purify the protein, and we actually do then need to validate that the function that we were screening for in the first place, and in the previous examples I mentioned gelation, so in this case we would need to measure the gelation properties of the protein, and that happens in the validation stage. So importantly, there are two results from that stage. The first is that we have empirical data, which we then feed back into the discovery phase, strengthening our predictive models with each subsequent iteration, and then we also result from proprietary proteins that become the products and the ingredients that we add to Shiru's product portfolio that we can then partner with companies to actually use in formulations. So our functional ingredients are produced through fermentation, or they also can be expressed in crops. For now, initially in the proof of concept stage where we are now, we're actually expressing these proteins in microorganisms through fermentation, but we see a huge potential in being able to express them in crops as well. The team today is who you see here. So we are experts in protein science, computational biology, machine learning, and coming from food world, software world, and the world of biomaterials. So really excited to be working with my team to address this problem. We're backed by world-class investors. Here are some of the details regarding our fundraising. We raised $150K in pre-seed funding last year by going through the Y Combinator Accelerator program, and more recently, in October of last year, we closed our seed round of funding, which was $3.5 million, led by Lux Capital and with participation from S2G, CPT, and others. So we're well backed. We have a great technology that we're developing, and we are now looking for corporate partners to take advantage of the discovery platform that we have to help you accelerate your formulation for new, more sustainable food products. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much, Jasmine. So there is a question in the Q&A box. Is your protein considered to be GMO because it's expressed via fermentation?
Sorry, I think I was muted. Great question. So the organisms that we actually use to produce these proteins are genetically modified. However, the protein ingredients themselves, as they undergo a process of purification, so removing a lot of the components from the organism side, the proteins are ingredients and not organisms, so therefore not GMO per se, because they're not organisms themselves.
Got it. And maybe you can describe what the timeline looks like in terms of starting a project to formulating and finding the right protein to doing the testing.
Yeah, that's a great question. So we actually have a pretty rapid iteration cycle for this. So we're kind of scoped between 8 and 10 months for us to be able to take on a new target in terms of our screening platform, screening for that protein computationally, and then doing the in-lab testing on our side. So between 8 and 10 months for that.
Got it. Thank you so much, Jasmine. If there are any other questions, please go ahead and type them into the Q&A box, and maybe Jasmine can answer them afterwards. So thank you. Next up, we have Victor from Suggestic. So Suggestic operates as a personalized nutrition platform that utilizes AI to deliver food recommendations.
At Suggestic, we've built a personalized nutrition mobile development platform. We can now modify our diet based on our genome, microbiome, glycemic response, food sensitivities, you name it. However, we still struggle to decide what to cook, what to order at a restaurant, or what to buy at the grocery store. We all need guidance. what is both delicious and good for me? And we need convenience. We want it to be easy. At Suggestic, our main insight was that making it super easy and convenient to find delicious, affordable, and healthy foods was a data discovery problem that we could solve. We realized that if we used artificial intelligence to match what our body needs with the food we like the most, and then further match that to the food options around us, we could effectively allow for food to become medicine. And already 80% of consumers want food to be medicine. But for this to happen, we need mobile apps to help us discover the most convenient foods available based on our personalized dietary needs and individual preferences. There's already 60,000 nutrition-related app publishers. Everyone from health plans to fitness companies and from lab tests to nutraceuticals want their own app. And the problem is, healthy apps take over 24 months to develop and cost over $1 million. And all of them rebuild the same functionality, license the same data, and implement similar infrastructure. Suggestic Developer Platform empowers businesses to create dietary programs and then personalize, customize, suggest, track, and continuously improve food recommendations. As experts, they create their own programs by encoding dietary rule sets, including video guidance, and bundling their own diagnostics, coaching, and nutrition products. These customer programs are then personalized and customized to each individual. Each customer then uses our API, SDK, or white-labeled app to share meal planners, food recipes, etc., including our award-winning augmented reality that allows users to overlay your top-rated menu options. This works at over 90% of the restaurants in the US. Partners like Biome Health can use all this technology to publish their own app with a dietary program that includes microbiome tests, coaching, and their own line of probiotics. On the other side, distributors like United Healthcare also create an app, but instead of creating their own programs, they distribute third-party offerings, including Biome Health's microbiome therapy. In that way, our solution helps partners easily build beautiful and powerful apps. It also allows partners to share their dietary programs and that bundle their own diagnostic and nutrition offerings. And finally, our technology platform empowers them all to incorporate advanced functionality in the most comprehensive data sources. Instead of 2 years of development time, our partners receive a fully functional app in as little as 1 day. And instead of $1 million of development costs, they pay only for success by paying for engagement and for sales. Our success-based revenue model allows app publishers to pay a monthly active user fee, and program creators pay a commission on the sales of their programs, products, and services. In the last 6 months, we have closed $5.5 million in contracts with $1.9 million in ARR, in addition to having almost $10 million more in final contracting stage out of 61 qualified opportunities in our pipeline. In this highly fragmented marketplace, unlike all other nutrition companies, we do not compete with program creators, app publishers, clinics, gyms, coaches, or dietitians. We empower them to further engage their users. We provide them all with tools to make a difference, so that together we can make food as medicine a reality, and with it, empower billions of people around the world to live healthier, happier, and longer lives.
Thank you so much, Victor. So time for the Q&A session. Maybe you can describe how you currently work with corporations and what do you expect from some of these larger food players?
Sure. We normally, right now we're working in the form of either allowing them to have a white label version of the app, where all these different programs can be part of their own offering to their consumers. So now instead of having to be experts in genome, microbiome, blood, glucose, etc., they can use the programs that other partners have created on top of our platform and deliver them directly to their consumers while filtering out their own foods and other food around them.
So they can basically optimize this data set to look at how their foods are affecting their customers.
Well, basically what we're seeing is more than optimize our data set. Is really about reaching consumers in a different way and adapting their food choices to what every individual needs. So we see personalized nutrition as the growth of variety in foods, and that growth allows them to, like, this variety can be then picked for each individual and dietary need and preference.
Got it. Thank you so much, Victor. So next up, we have Fengru from Turtle Tree Labs, the first biotech company to create milk sustainably using cell-based technology.
Today, this glass of milk came from cows.
However, this milk could be the future. See, getting milk from cows is going to be a thing of the past. We're the first biotech company in the world that is actually able to use cell technology to create real milk. This is a game changer. Milk is by far the largest food segment in the world. We're talking about a $700 billion industry that will one day be using this technology to source raw milk. Imagine that. Imagine being able to have giant steel bioreactors that's able to drop into any part of the city, and as long as you have access to fresh water and electricity, you have access to fresh milk. We know that cattle farming isn't sustainable and produces 37% of global methane emissions. Plant-based products are great, but don't have the full functionality of raw milk. As a result, plant-based products have less than 1% market share in global milk consumption. I've had a hobby of making cheese in the past and personally been to many farms. I've seen many cows pumped with antibiotics, and every time they have a baby, the baby gets yanked away. We need to continue giving people what they're used to without harming these animals. We can harness the power of cell-based technology to create milk that is clean, fresh, and free from antibiotics. Being functional means being able to make cheese, butter, cream, or yogurt. So how does our technology work? We start with cells that we can get right from fresh milk. We multiply these cells, then put them in our special lactation media. The cells then convert the lactation media into milk. What's really special is, unlike cell-based meats, the cells are not consumed. They're a factory that makes milk and continue making milk for up to 200 days. Once you're done, they can be recycled into compost, the entire process being part of the circular economy. The lactation media has been our biggest cost. Our scientists have made major breakthroughs, and we can make it in-house, driving down the cost, all of it being food grade.
If Turtle Tree disrupts 5% of the global dairy market, it's the equivalent of saving all the water consumed by 500,000 Americans yearly. It would mean we cut a significant 90 tons of greenhouse gases a day and save the land mass the size of 14 New York cities. 5% of the market feeds 390 million people. Imagine how much impact we can have as this technology becomes the industry standard. Using our licensing and royalty model, we will be working with existing dairy equipment manufacturers on the bioreactors and equipment. Our team will work with dairy producers and consumer brands to co-develop products for consumers. Like the Intel Inside model, we can envision our logo on every dairy product globally. A brief history of Turtle Tree Labs. We started in January 2019 with several scientists. We filed our provisional patents after we made some breakthroughs. By Q4, raised funds and won the HSBC Sustainability Award. Fast forward through 2020, we have begun customer engagement with major brands. We'll be collaborating with one of our potential customers on our 50,000 liter POC over the next year and a half. Our executive team is a combination of seasoned business and science experts. The entire team has grown significantly to over 20, many of them top scientists. As pioneers in this technology, we can produce milk from so many mammals like goats, sheep, camels, and so much more. One of the biggest interests we've seen from the industry is actually our work on human milk, because it has the potential to transform the entire infant nutrition industry. Every so often, we come across something so transformative that it can reshape the future and give us hope for a sustainable world.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Max and Fengru. So we have a couple of questions here for you guys. How do you get regulatory approval for a product like yours?
Good question. We are working with the Singapore Food Agency, as well as Sidley Austin, who's helping to drive the discussions with the U.S. body as well.
Yeah. And growing cell-based products is extremely expensive because of the cost of the media. Can you tell us what is your cost prediction for a gallon of milk coming out of the cell-based technology?
Sure, it's a good question. We have actually spent the majority of our time around these actual factors and building the in-house knowledge to synthesize a lot of this in-house. So we've been able to bring the price down dramatically. We believe within the next 18 to 24 months, we will be able to get down in price parity.
Got it. And what about the human milk oligosaccharides that are found in human-produced milk?
Yes, great question. These are the technologies that we have, and we are working towards the commercialization arm.
Got it. Thank you so much, Max.
Thank you.
So next up, we have Aaron from Uron Imaging, introducing Industry 4.0 to the healing arena.
Hello, everyone. I'm Eran Sinbar from Uron Imaging, and I'm very glad to be in your selection day. What do we do in Uron Imaging? We are protecting your food, and we are making sure that the products that are being heat sealed are tested in line. As you can see in the image, you can see a product, a food product in the pouch, and it is being heat sealed. And I can tell you for sure that this product was not tested, because the ones that were tested were done by sampling and by destructive means. The way that products are sampled today, 1 in 1,000, are being done in a very primitive way by sampling, by destructive means, and they do not reach the market. We are introducing the PAM2. It's a system based on thermal imaging, inline monitoring. We apply a artificial intelligence on the thermal image, and in real time, we can make a decision if to reject the product or not, if there is a trend, a problem in the process, in order to alert or stop the process. This saves a lot of money to the manufacturers and prevent from unsealed products to reach the market. We target the food, the pharma, the medical, the cosmetics, the consumer goods. These are all target. It's a huge market. Just T1 in the Europe and US is appreciated to be around 50,000 lines, but in worldwide it's much bigger. We have been founded on the end of 2016. We've raised so far $1.8 million, and we have sold over $450K. We are in the exponential growth now, and we have penetrated the tier 1 in industries in Israel. Our business model is based on thermal imaging machines that are installed in line, that can test 100% of the products in line, generating data, and later on this data can be analyzed through our advanced dashboards and our deep learning, artificial intelligence, and big data analysis. And this is an important tool that can be applied as a SaaS model. Our expected revenues are growing exponentially. We are expected to grow by 2022 to $9.2 million and to be fully in a break-even point. We have a strong competitive head start. We have over 20 years experience in thermal imaging, over 5 years experience in line in the heat sealing arena. We have tested over 100 million products. We've been over 30 food production sites, we integrated to over 20 different world-leading packaging machines. We have 2 patents, one in the PCT phase and one in the national phase. Our system has received the CE certification mark. Yoav Weinstein, my partner, and myself, we both have over 20 years of experience in thermal imaging. We have a very strong team behind us, making sure that we can deliver this advanced new product that is a game changer. Our member of the board advisory are very known in Israel as leaders in the industry, industrial leaders from the defense industry and also from the civilian industry. And together as a team, we have the ability to lead the change of no more sampling and moving to 100% testing of the heat sealed products. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Aran. So what is the cost of your current system?
We have two models. One model is the SaaS model, where it's $1,500 per line. And one model is a one-off sale, which is $70,000 per system. And for the analytic, we have also $500 per line. The system, as I described, is for analyzing 100% of the products, rejecting unsealed products, and the trend recognition. And the analytics is for having the data, analyzing the data, testing what was the failure, and predicting the failures for the future. So there is the data issue, and there is the analytic, and there is the measurements inline.
Got it. And how easy is it to implement this system?
The implementation is 2 hours, and later on it takes around 1 week of arranging all the image processing algorithms. And in 1 week, we are fully ready. And if it's the same line, it takes 1 day to multiply lines.
Got it. Thank you so much, Aran. So we'll move on to the next startup. So please welcome Zur from Biotip. They have developed freshness stickers, an IP protected technology that changes color exactly when products spoil.
When you go to the supermarket and want to buy a product from the fridge, like milk, the expiration date should tell you whether the milk is fresh or not. Is it really like that? The freshness status is affected by the initial bacterial count and the temperature it was exposed to. However, it's impossible to know what exactly happened to the milk from the moment it left the factory until we drink it. Thus, expiration date has no ability to really tell us the quality of the foods that we eat. As a result, tens of billions of dollars are wasted due to the inaccurate expiration date, both at industry and consumer levels. This challenge disturbs the industry for a long time, and as a result, several solutions were developed to address it. At the consumer level, solutions are expensive and complex to operate. At the producer level, solutions such as time temperature indicators, TTI, only indicate on the amount of temperature that the food was exposed to, but not on the freshness status of the food. In addition, they are relatively expensive. At Biotip, we provide the ultimate solution. Spoilage equally occurs in the product and in the sticker, which essentially is its biological twin. Unlike others, we indicate on spoilage and not only on temperature exposure. We develop a solution that measures and not only assume freshness status of the food. To apply this, simple existing machinery is needed. We partnered with Tadbik to provide integrated solutions that produce and apply freshness stickers. All this pleasure costs only 1 cent per product, including depreciation, labor, and materials. Freshness stickers bring huge value to the industry, starting with making the products more reliable, increasing the trust between the producers, distributors, and consumers, improve corporate social responsibility. All this together will increase market share. The total accessible market of only fluid milk is estimated to be $650 million a year. Considering all relevant products, we estimated a total market of tens of billions of dollars. Let me tell you a little bit where we stand. Company funded by us, the founders. We got grant from the Israel Innovation Authority. At the moment, technology development is completed and we establish a prototype at semi-industrial scale in our lab. The technology is patented worldwide and already granted in Israel with no comment from the examiners. We recently were selected by the European Union EIT Food and currently targeted to engage commercial agreement in Europe, accompanied by mentors from Danone and Pascual. We are in final steps of an agreement with Israel's largest dairy, Tnuva, which opens a door also to the Chinese market. Our team is multidisciplinary and combines strong scientific expertise in physical chemistry, microbiology, and food tech, experienced biz dev, finance, and accompanied by a leading legal firm. We invite you to make a pilot with us, test our technology, and make it valuable for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. So is your products only targeting the dairy market right now, or are you planning to move into other fresh foods?
We have started with the dairy, but for the longer term, we will go to additional products.
Got it. And would it take a lot of R&D and adjusting of your current product to do so?
No, basically we have tested it also on fresh meat, juices, salad, and additional product, and all the result is very good. But we'll need a short phase of calibration and adaptation of the technology also to additional products.
Got it. Got it.
Please.
Thank you very much. There are no other questions, but if anyone does have questions afterwards, please ask them in the Q&A box below. Thank you so much, sir. So the next up is Posidonia. So they help food professionals differentiate by reducing salt and keeping taste. Posidonia is a 100% natural sea salt with only 8% sodium. So please welcome Arnold.
Hi, I'm Arnold from Posidonia. Thank you very much for your time. I'm happy to present you briefly today what we are doing and how we will revolute the food sector. As you know, salt is really bad. So there's a negative impact on the health of many people around the planet. And following the WHO, 4.2 million people are dying every year just because of the salt consumption. 80% of the salt that we eat daily comes from processed food. So from bread, from meat, from fish, from ready meals, from cheese. And today, actually, we have three manners to reduce the salt. First of all is less salt. Less salt is less taste, less technicalities. Then the second manner is to use a well-known product by the industry, the potassium chloride. But this manner is just complicated to use. Why? Because it has a bad taste, it has a metallic taste, and then also from a medical point of view, it's not pushed by health professionals, because too much potassium can also bring other problems. And then the third way of doing is using Posidonia. So what is Posidonia actually? Posidonia is a 100% natural product with a great taste, with exactly the same taste as salt. So we have done different certification to validate that, but with also 5 times less sodium. So as you know, what's bad in salt actually is the sodium level. So in normal salt, you have 40% sodium. Here we only have 8% sodium, so 5 times less. So what is actually our secret? It's just the place where we produce the salt. So this is our salt fields. You see here the island of Formentera in Spain, just a small island just under Ibiza, where we produce our own salt fields. And there, what is so unique around Formentera, it's a plant called the Posidonia oceanica. And thanks to this plant, we can produce a liquid salt into our salt fields. So we're gonna just pick up the salt when it's still liquid. And because it's liquid, it has 8% sodium, but here exactly the same taste because of the perfect balance of the different sea minerals. Today we are working a bit everywhere in Western Europe, but we are also working with Starbucks and Arista in the US since a couple of years now. Now in 8 years, we never lost one client, and we're working mainly with retailers. So with B2B sector, so we are working with Carrefour in Belgium, Spain, Deleuze, Puratos, Starbucks in the US. Mainly bread, because bread is the first factor of salt in our diet, but we have also clients in ham, cheese, ready meals. Here you have a couple of examples of clients and the marketing that they are using on Posidonia. So that's Belgium and Spain, with Carrefour, with Deleuze in Belgium, a big retailer. So that's the first point. So we are a good product for the health of the people, but we are also strongly supported by health professionals. So here, that was myself during the French Congress of the dietist and cardiologist. Finally, also really important for us, we also take care about the planets. Why? So the site of production is protected by the UNESCO. We are also Eco-Guarantee certified, so it means organic here in Europe for salt. We are also CO2 neutral, so it means that all deliveries to the US or to Europe are offset at the end of the year to compensate our CO2 emissions. And finally, all our packaging are also reusable. This is actually our team. So David and Antoine just founded the company in 2011-12. I joined 3 years ago, and now we just hired 2 extra persons. I'm quite excited by joining the program Plug and Play. We think that we can do a great job with many of your partners, and we're looking forward to help you to build great products, healthy products with exactly the same taste. So looking forward to asking your questions, and thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much. So we have a couple of questions. How about using peptides as salt alternatives? Casein degrades in various peptides with salty properties. Hey, Arnold, I think you're on mute.
Okay, yes, now it's better. Yeah, so no, so actually, so we are not using any peptides. So it's a completely natural product. So this is why that we are also certified Eco-Guarantee, so which means that it's just a pure natural product. Salt cannot be organic, as you know, but so we receive the full certification, and it's a natural product.
Got it. And what is the sodium content of your product?
So the sodium content is only 8% sodium. So in normal salt, you have 40%. Here, it's only 8.
Got it. And I'll squeeze in one last question. Do you have any IP around your product?
No, so here we cannot have any IP since it's a natural product, but so we can only have and produce the salt on the salt fields. So we own the land, so no one else can produce this salt.
Got it. Thank you so much, Arnold.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Nick from Atlas. The Atlas DNA and gut microbiome tests evaluate your health status and provide personalized recommendations to improve well-being.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sergey Moiseyenko, and I'm the CEO of Atlas, a London-based personalized health and nutrition company. In Atlas, we believe that we will soon enter an era where the combination of available data and technologies will allow for a truly personalized health and nutrition. However, because both subjects are really complex, we believe it is the holistic approach that is required, and this is one of the key advancements that we have in Atlas, is that we allow for a combination of different data sources around each individual to make personalized recommendations on changing the lifestyle and well-being. In order to develop our mission, we have created and launched sales of 2 direct-to-consumer at-home tests, which are already available in more than 15 countries, covering most of the Europe and also Japan and Canada very recently. Both tests can be purchased online from the website, and they work really simple. All the consumer has to do is place an online order. The kits will be delivered to the consumer by the courier, then collect a sample, a saliva sample for a DNA test or a stool sample for the analysis of bacteria from the gut for the microbiome test, and then send it back to the lab. As easy as that. After that, 3 to 4 weeks after, the consumer will receive a report, either in mobile app or through the web browser, covering his or her individual results. The team, we have a large team that allowed for the development of both tests. We are more than 80 people today. More than half of them are bioinformaticians, scientists, and doctors. We also have IT entrepreneurs and IT experts, which allow a combination of expertise and knowledge around, which allows us to develop this really user-facing solution. So one of the areas of our expertise is making a very seamless and lifestyle applications on top of the data we generate from the DNA microbiome test, as well as wearables and questionnaires that consumers can fill in using their personal accounts. So one of the very recent product releases that we had is the personalized nutrition app, which allows the consumer to just take the photo of any meal, and then the extensive machine learning algorithms will identify the ingredients based on the photo of the food, and then rank them based on the results of the recent microbiome and DNA test, thus giving a different rating scores to different customers based on their test results, and allowing for the positive lifestyle change by adding more fibers and increasing the diversity of your meals. We work on the intersection of multiple markets, which are really fast growing. So the largest one is the personalized nutrition market, which is set to double in the next 5 years. We were recently called as one of the key players with the launch of our app being named as one of the 5 main events in this market in last year. With the growth of the market, our revenues also growing exponentially, more than doubling every year up until today. And one of the key areas of our expertise allows for the joint R&D projects with large nutrition companies, where we can be used as the clinical and bioinformatic research team, but also making our test available for large clinical trials and development of new products. We'd be happy to run live demos of all our technologies and show you the results of our work, and hope to continue working with you in the future. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Sergey. So we have a couple of questions for you. So at the genomics level, do you do full DNA sequencing or only single nucleotide polymorphisms?
Yeah, thanks for the question. On the European market, we're only providing the genotyping solution. So it's 700,000 SNPs per genome. However, we've recently launched a whole genome sequencing test on the Russian market, which we're bringing to Europe later this year.
Got it. And what are you looking from corporations in terms of partnership?
Well, our most frequent way to collaborate is through speaking with the R&D teams in large corporates, and we actually have experience of working with one of the top food and beverage companies doing the R&D work and testing some of their probiotic or prebiotic solutions in different cohorts, showing the effect which it had on individuals' microbiomes or cohort level microbiomes. So it's mostly around R&D and developing new food products.
Okay. And I'll have one more question for you. So how do you forecast the influence on our gut microbiome?
And first of all, we have our extensive user base. We have more than 40,000 people who've done a combination of the test, the DNA and microbiome test. And we also run several trials ourselves showing how different foods affect different people's microbiomes. We also do clinical trials together with the food and beverage companies, as I said, in different cohorts, showing the effect of specific products in people's microbiomes.
Got it. Thank you so much, Sergey.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Pascal from Alguma. So Alguma aims to harvest the unique potential of microalgae by integrating them to daily food products.
Hi, everybody. This is Pascal Longchamp. I am the Chief Commercial Officer at Alguma, and it's a really pleasure to join this food pitch event and to present you what we do at Alguma in terms of using and incorporating into delicious food, algae and microalgae. So basically, everybody knows that now the future of food is plant-based and that the animal-based foods are putting a toll on the planet, which is totally unsustainable, and we have to move to something else. So basically at Alguma, we think that the future of plant-based is also algae. And we have worked a lot in terms of to incorporate algae and microalgae inside of the food and beverage product. We recognize that algae presents high density of proteins, sometimes up to 70% inside of a single organism, has excellent amino acid balance, and also offer unsaturated fatty acids such as DHA and EPA. So in order to do that, we have built up a very strong expertise and capability into formulating products coming from algae and microalgae for the food and beverage industry. And this is the core of our métier. We, in a nutshell, we have been created in 2013. We are around 20 people. We have 2 offices, one in New York and one in Paris. We raised 8 million euro. And basically, we are bringing food solution for the industry, not only on the technological side, but also premix and ingredients for B2B and product to consumer from B2C. And I'm going to show you 2 of them. So our offer is food and beverage, and all the products that you see on this slide has been made with algae and microalgae. We have an egg replacement, which is a B2B brand that we're using for cookie and brioche and other products, so that they are vegan. They do not contain any eggs anymore. We have a seafood replacement, we have dairy replacement, meat replacement, also algae-enriching chocolates, and with our B2C brand Springwave, we are tackling colors coming out of spirulina with the phycocyanin. So one of our products is a vegan mayonnaise. It's done by The Good Spoon, and it has been formulated to contain no eggs, has 60% less fat and calorie. It's plant-based, non-GMO, and has all the good features that you can expect from a plant-based product. You can actually purchase it in major supermarket, and I will go to our next product, Springwave. It's the first antioxidant beverage from microalgae. It's blue, contains the phycocyanin, and it's an excellent product in terms of colors, and also non-GMO, no preservative, and shelf stable. With that, I will go towards the management. Alvin and Gaetan has been the founder of the company. Jean-Paul Cadoré has joined us as the president of the European Federation of Algae. We have a CTO as Thomas Felice, and Natasha is the CFO, and myself, Chief Commercial Officer. With that, I will leave you on this very nice breakfast, all made out of algae and microalgae. They taste really good, and you should try. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much, Pascal. So let's move on to the Q&A. Is your blue color heat stable?
So the phycocyanin that we are putting inside of our beverage is actually stable. It's shelf life stable up to 12 months. And it's the process which actually make it stable inside of the beverage. In itself, the phycocyanin is not a stable proteins. Therefore, we have used a patented process to make it stable.
Got it. And does your algae protein have a dairy functionalities such as gelling and foaming?
Yes, we can have this type of functionalities, and we are developing different product right now with this dairy replacer, meringue. We're developing nougat. We're developing all kind of functionalities which go beyond an.
Got it. And one more question for you is, are you looking to just make finished goods, or are you also selling the ingredients?
So we are basically selling premix to the twins industry. So definitively we're looking to customize the premix to the needs of the people, and especially with the microalgae in the food matrix, and to adapt them into what people want as a product. So we have a very quick turnaround of products.
Got it. Thank you so much, Pascal, for your time.
Thank you, Michelle.
So next up, we have Jacek from Talkin' Things. The Talkin' Things is a smart packaging one-stop shop for brands to benefit from connected products throughout the entire supply chain.
Hi there, I'm Jacek Terski from Talking Things. Today I will have a privilege to present you a solution for food industry. Let's dive into details. Talking Things is a one-stop shop for smart packaging. We provide full set of services and components to make FMCG products connected. To keep the implementation convenient for our clients, we deliver RFID and NFC tags inserted in ready-to-apply labels, together with hardware and software to identify products through whole supply chain, from production to consumer. Last year, we have raised $3.5 million, which was second biggest investment in Poland that year, and this month, with same investors, we are closing another round of funding worth $3 million. Our solutions were successfully delivered to global companies across various industries: food, beverage, pharma, wine and spirits, and other. We truly believe in future of RFID and NFC in FMCG industry. Research by Accenture Strategy shows that top business pressures to implement RFID are delivering a superior customer experience, personalizing marketing, improvement of operating profits, and managing out-of-stock situations. And companies benefit from implementing RFID technology in their facilities and on their products. 90% of RFID adopters reported an ROI of at least 5% for at least one use case. NFC is a part of RFID family. It is growing rapidly these days. According to ABI research, by 2023, we will be producing 10 billion tags globally. In 2024, NFC market size is expected to reach over $47 billion. It doesn't surprise though that companies like Apple decide to focus more on NFC and help to build consumer awareness. Talking Things enables their customers to benefit from NFC-based smart packaging by increasing granularity of identification down to product unit level, and using same technology for track and trace and communication with consumers. We have grouped main benefits into three areas: supply chain, marketing, and consumers. For supply chain, we have traceability of products, cases, and pallets at production level, time savings in mass counting, improvement of stock control in warehouses by automatic identification. For marketing, we enhance brand image, monitor marketing campaigns and their effects, introduce communication and activation mechanics based on uniqueness of each single product. And last but not least, consumers. They gain a convenient access to additional product features and information, receive personalized and dynamic content directly from the brand, and they do not have entrance barriers as NFC allows for native reading without necessity to download an additional app. We help brands with implementation of complete identification system based on RFID and NFC technology containing tags for underneath the product's labels, tags for cases, and RFID logistic labels for pallets, all in respect to existing production processes, not to disturb them and not to slow down the lines. Our hardware solutions are unique and dedicated to all products, even those containing liquids. What's more, Talking Things has introduced first in the world logistics solution based on NFC components only. Thanks to our investment in the most modern RFID and NFC manufacturing line based in Central Europe, we are able to deliver in Q3 2020 a 3-cent NFC tag with a roadmap to go down with the price to 1 cent in 2025. NFC tags has never been more affordable for FMCG products. Today, I would like to invite you to become NFC adopter with support of Talking Things to get unprecedented competitive advantage and be innovator and leader in your category. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sasik. If anyone has questions, please enter them in the Q&A box below. Can you maybe talk about some of the use cases or partnerships that you've developed with any larger corporations?
Actually, we have a lot of going on projects at the moment. Like the list of the companies you have seen in the very beginning, we have worked with FMCG companies like Coca-Cola, L'Oreal, Galderma in various industries, and each one is actually very different. So we focus on the specifics of each particular project and then advise which type of solution should be used for this particular use.
Got it. And what makes your product differentiate from other NFC companies?
First of all, in-house competences. So this is why we also invested in the production facility in Poland this year, to have a possibility, first of all, to go down with the pricing because of the modern production and cost-effective one. So we can deliver from the tech production, hardware, software, and everything from our side. So this makes it unique for the brand owners, that they can cooperate with one partner, not look for different companies on the market.
Got it. Thank you so much, Jacek.
Thank you.
We have Vincent from Microfit. So they are a biotechnology innovator with a focus on discovering, developing, and producing natural bioactives derived from microalgae targeting human nutrition and personal care cosmetics.
Hi, everybody. First of all, I would like to thank you for giving me your time and listening to me today. Sincerely, thank you. So I'm going to introduce myself. I'm David, I'm the marketing manager, and I'm very proud to represent all the employees of Microfit. Microfit is a French startup, and we develop, produce, and market microalgae ingredients that will make all difference for you in the market. What do? We help to transition food supplement and cosmetic industries to using unique natural ingredients. Microalgae are among the very first form of life on Earth. They are very small unicellular plants that are the natural factories of Mother Nature. Antioxidants, omega-3, proteins, and so on are naturally produced, and microalgae make them available for us in their natural, highly bioavailable form. How do we support the transition to natural ingredients? We created a unique patented photobioreactor technology. This technology allows us to produce microalgae like none of the existing competitors. They are naturally made, non-GMOs guaranteed, totally renewable, traceable, and cost-effective. The quality of our production is unmatched, and we generate a renewable and sustainable source of nutrients. Our expertise is unique on a world stage. The current market of natural ingredients from microalgae relies on only 2 or 3 species. The other company capable of producing microalgae won't be able to grow new species in a short time frame. Our technology can do it, and we have already proved it. Our first flagship product is BrainFit. This offers full support of cognitive function in a totally natural and sustainable way. BrainFit is so promising that we decided to take it to clinical trials. The company completed 7 successful preclinical studies that showed that BrainFit increases significantly many types of memory, like recognition memory. The potential market is huge and growing to booming customer demographic, for example, elderlies, which will be 72 million in the US in 2030. The cognitive food supplement market represented about $6 billion globally and $2 billion in the US in 2018. The target consumer of cognitive health product is varied as elderlies, young professionals, athletes, or e-gamers. To continue penetrating the market, we can count on our expert team. The company counts among its employees 16% PhDs, 40% Master of Science in Food, Chemistry, Biotechnology, and Microbiology. This expertise enables us to offer various types of products through 2 portfolios. Our food supplement portfolio gathers natural preventative ingredients to target segments like cognitive well-being and as well joint, liver, or diabetes health. Meanwhile, our cosmetics portfolio is focused on skincare. We are now looking for partners to develop our business beyond dietary supplements, specifically into food and beverage. We are open to regional partnerships targeting Asia. We are passionately committed to bring microalgae-based innovation to your customers. Do you want to be a part of the transition to the natural?
Thank you so much, Vincent. So we'll move on to the Q&A session. Are you making, and I think I'm going to pronounce this wrong, astaxanthin and fucoxanthin?
Yes, we do. We produce those ingredients, but they are not part of our core portfolio. What we do generally is mix synergistically some compounds, bioactive compounds made from those molecules and those microalgae species.
And do you currently compete with the pharmaceutical industry?
No, we are part of the prevention industry, I would say. So our solutions are targeted to the nutrition market specifically. So primarily the food supplement industry, but also the food and beverage. So here at the moment we are looking for partnership in this area.
Okay. Thank you so much, Vincent.
Thank you.
So next up, we have Michelle from BioMilk. They're on a mission to provide the next generation every opportunity to thrive through better infant nutrition, human cultivated breast milk.
Hi there, my name is Michelle Egger, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of BioMilk, where we're creating human milk for babies. A little more about me, I'm a food scientist by training that spent the majority of my career in dairy commercialization and fermentation. I had the opportunity a number of times to work in global development, focused specifically in malnutrition, and was able to see that I needed to go back to school and focus on social entrepreneurship to find ways we were going to feed our world by 2050. I had the amazing opportunity to meet Layla, my CSO and co-founder, who actually invented this technology. She's a PhD by training in cell biology and had the opportunity to work on this while breastfeeding her first child. She could see that there was fundamental cellular biology that could be applied in novel ways to create systematic change, and like me, has always had a passion for finding ways to combat malnutrition in our world. So what exactly are we doing? We're creating a product with the nutrition of breast milk and the practicality of formula. And so for us, we created infant milk cultured from human mammary epithelial cells using our patent-pending process. And it couldn't come soon enough. The current state of infant feeding has room for improvement. And we see that throughout the world, $238 billion can be attributed in cognitive loss associated with GDP just by having made the selection to feed a child formula over breast milk. Only 16% of babies in the US actually meet the exclusive feeding period as recommended by the World Health Organization. Moms experience an incredible amount of cognitive load when it comes to making that decision. We see that 2/3 of moms feel guilty for not breastfeeding and stigmatized for feeding formula. It's a $71 billion global infant formula market that we're talking about, with 9.5% CAGR year-over-year growth. We see that mothers are having children later in life, they tend to have more income and are making more family planning decisions about how many children to have and when. And so while formula might be an option that's convenient, it lacks hundreds of the sugars that naturally occur in breast milk, human milk oligosaccharides, which are critical to immune support and we know vital to the appropriate development of a child. But there are 2,500 plus molecular components in perfect constellation in breast milk today. There's no way you can replicate that complexity by adding back something here or working on something there. And so that's where BioMilk comes in. For our custom process, which is where we're beginning, we're able to collect mammary epithelial cells at a prenatal point via simple extraction. We're able to take those cells, populate them up to a high enough quantity where they can be inoculated in the bioreactor, and then give them all of the nutrients, minerals, and hormone that they need to be able to grow. Human mammary epithelial cells, like in the mammary gland, are able to naturally compartmentalize. Evolutionarily, they've wanted to keep blood from not intermixing with milk, right? They want to create a lining for the human mammary gland. And in that case, we're harnessing that same technology. 6 weeks from that cell collection, we're able to produce milk utilizing this compartmentalization function, where we have a milk never intermixed with them, meaning that that milk's grown under sterility, packaged under sterility, and can be shipped pre-packaged, shelf-stable to a consumer's door 6 weeks from the moment we receive cells. For us, we're starting, as I mentioned, a direct-to-consumer personalized milk offering and hit the price parity at the top end of infant formula, which happens to be about $1.78 an ounce. At that price basis, we're able to hit a subscription model of $1,300 a month with a minimum 6-month purchase requirement, so we can actually ship breast milk just designed specifically for a mother, or actually for a father, as the gender of the cells don't matter. I'm really excited to begin our pathway in personal use and find additional operational opportunities for the company long term. And so how do we get there? In 5 years, we see the ability to launch product. With $3.5 million in seed funding, which we're raising now, we've been able to complete the proof of concept experiment and characterize to a point where we're confident what we're making is breast milk. Next up for us is process optimization, proprietary cell line development, and food grade media development. And hope that you've latched on as much as we have. Please stay in touch, and we're excited to answer whatever questions we can for you.
Thank you so much, Michelle. So now there's 2 Michelles on the line, which is great. So InBios is actually making human milk oligosaccharides. Are you competing with them, and how do you differentiate from them?
No, actually, we're really excited to see that there's more interest in the infant nutrition space. Even such as Turing Labs, who's looking as well here because it's a moneymaker in the overall dairy market. We're excited to see kind of all ships rise as a part of this work. We're leapfrogging the technology and able to produce all of the HMOs present in breast milk, as we're just creating the complexity that the cells naturally produce themselves. So we're not concerned about 1 or 2. We like to see all of the complexity that the baby requires for the full nutritional value of breast milk.
Got it. So you're replicating more than 300 HMOs in the breast milk.
Just as the cells do themselves in the body.
And what is the regulatory path for your product?
Yeah, similar to TurtleTree, we're working through that now. We're mainly moving with the FDA rather than working with entities in other parts of the world, but are excited to be able to bring the product to market safely and efficacious for infants and parents throughout the US and eventually world.
Got it. Thank you so much, Michelle.
Thank you.
So next up, we have Cara from Uplift Food. Uplift has developed a prebiotic functional snack food and supplement powder for online and retail.
Hi, I'm Cara Landau from Uplift Food, Good Mood Food, and today I want to introduce you to a brand that's not just another better for you snack brand, but truly a good for you plant-based food brand. Uplift is focused around prebiotic gut healthy foods and how when you nourish your gut with prebiotics, you ultimately can support yourself to be your happiest self. I myself am a registered dietitian from Australia and also the nutrition advisor media representative to the Global Prebiotic Association. At Uplift, we have already attained a strategic investment from Mondelez International and understand the importance of partnering for success. We believe that with a strong gut, a healthy body, a happy mind, you ultimately can live an uplifted life. The problem today is that prebiotics, the food for the probiotics, are not currently being consumed in the Western diet. And even those that have healthy diets seem to be missing out on this nutrient. A lot of people are looking for food as medicine rather than taking supplements. And unfortunately, there's not that many prebiotic products or foods out there on the market that people can consume. That's where Uplift Food steps in. We create products that fit within consumers' busy daily lives and that are enjoyable to consume and that really provide a scientifically supported benefit of prebiotics. One of our products are our Gut Happy Cookies. They are scientifically supported to support your gut, digestive and immune health. And they also tick a number of boxes being non-GMO, plant-based, keto-friendly, low sugar and high fiber. They're also the world's first 100% plant-based gut health focused sandwich cream cookie. We sit compared to competitors on our own space. We have a clean label and we also have a functional benefit, which is yet to be come up with by any other brand. When you compare ourselves to others, you can see that not only do we tick all those healthy attributes, so too do we not have any of the common fillers and additives and poor quality ingredients that others seem to fill their products in. We also have our Daily Uplifter, which is a mood and gut supportive powder that is rich with a diverse blend of prebiotics as well as mood-specific probiotics that comes in a vanilla flavoured powder. This can be used in a range of formats, be it beverage or food. Our team on the ground is very strong, all with 20 to 30 years of experience in the natural CPG space, be it operations, e-commerce and sales. We also have social media, nutritional students as our interns, and all our bookkeeping needs. Senior advisory is also very strong, where we've got previous entrepreneurs with a lot of success, as well as people in the CPG space who can guide us and guide me personally on how to grow a strong brand. We've rolled out beginning this year, we've rolled out in New York City and we're continuing to grow in the Northeast. And we also have a direct-to-consumer operations via our own website, Amazon, and now starting with Thrive Market in the coming months. Our IP provides us with some protection. We have our proprietary blend inside our cookies that have been clinically proven to support gut health, which we have applied for a patent around the nutritional composition of. We also have a registered trademark for gut happy cookies in North America. As mentioned, we have got a strategic partnership already with Mondelez International, who have taken a very positive role helping guide us, but not dictate the direction of the company. And so far, we've raised $1.38 million and plan to create a convertible note later this year, followed by our Series A in 2021. The opportunity that presents for us all is that we can collaborate on new product development and do test and learn scenarios under the Uplift Food brand. We could test different formats for different lifespan stages, different snack types, and even based on different geographic relevancy. You yourself can learn off a gut health specialist brand that knows how to be on trend and connect with consumers, as well as with the expertise of myself as a prebiotic gut health dietitian. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Cara. So let's move on to the Q&A session. Have you performed any clinical trials to prove the claims of your prebiotic powder?
So the powder has been developed using all ingredients that themselves have got clinical trials to support the claims that then we make as the unique blend. And then the cookies themselves will run a clinical trial on our actual proprietary blend.
Got it. So you're currently doing clinical trials on your proprietary blend?
We've already done that, which was what was explained around the IP. So we've got a patent that has been applied for, and we have got a journal article that's being, the researchers are submitting for a journal article with the research that supports the product.
Got it. And what are the organoleptic characteristics of your powder?
Of the powder, in regards to it being soluble and it being, it's diverse. You cannot heat it though, so we have to use it in raw products.
Thank you so much, Cara.
Pleasure.
So next up, we have a quick 5-minute break. So we hope to see everyone back at 10:13 Pacific time for the second half of our startup pitches. See everyone soon. Hi again, everyone. I hope everyone is back from their break. But we'll go ahead and get started with the second half of our pitch session. So up first, we have Ollie from LifeGnome, an award-winning precision AI platform for personalizing health and wellness products, programs, and services.
Hi, my name is Ali Mustashari. I'm the CEO of LifeGnome. Glad to be here and be able to present our precision nutrition platform. LifeGnome is a company that was founded in New York City in 2016. We were founded by 3 scientists. I'm the CEO and among the top 25 cited scholars in complexity science globally. My co-founder, Dr. Raya Khanin, is the Chief Science Officer, also in the top 25 cited scholars in her field of computational genomics, and Dr. Mario Storga, the CEO of LifeGnome Europe, and our co-founder, who is in the top 20 cited scholars in semantic networks. We have a team of more than 30 people, 50% of whom are PhDs, more than $28 million in booked revenue through 2026, and financially backed by the principles of Edgewood Growth Fund. Some of the largest brands in the world are our customers, and we've received many different awards, the latest one being that we were one of the 3 global winners of the Zurich Innovation World Championships. In terms of our precision nutrition offering, our goal is to leverage biology, lifestyle, physiology, and clinical data and environmental data of an individual to create a precision profile that then allows us to provide precision nutrition programs and products for individuals. And that includes personalized nutrition weight loss programs, personalized fitness and athletic programs, personalized sleep and stress management programs, but also personalized products for product recommendations for existing products, such as in grocery stores, personalized recipes, personalized restaurant meal selections, but also formulation of actual personalized products for individuals, for supplements and for shakes and others. We also focus on precision life stage nutrition. That includes children's nutrition, women's nutrition, in particular pregnancy and menopause, and healthy aging and longevity. Our process generally starts with a personalized nutritional needs assessment, where we look at 50 micronutrients, macronutrients, and metabolism traits. And then we can provide product recommendations for existing products. As you can see there, every single individual has a different set of nutritional micronutrient and macronutrient needs that are met by the same product, so not all products are equally useful for different people. We can also engage with brands on creating white-labeled personalized nutrition and personalized food items such as meal replacement bars, meal replacement shakes, and personalized supplements. We also work with companies to create programs that go along with these products or just separately in order to have targeted precision health and wellness programs that allow individuals to lose weight, improve their fitness, feel more energetic, manage stress, sleep better, and thereby reduce chronic disease potential. Our engine is one of the most advanced AI engines that works on genomics. At the B2B side, more than 28,000 peer-reviewed scientific studies underlie the engine, and it's been validated with over 500,000 actual genotype-phenotype profiles. And our validation studies show that when we do have DNA-based weight loss, it's a lot more effective, both in terms of the actual weight loss, but also in terms of retention of weight loss habits over longer periods of time. If you want to work with us, please do take a look at our website, www.lifegnome.com. And I'm the CEO, Ali Mustashari, ali@lifegnome.com. And we're, of course, also compliant with all the US national and international privacy laws with regards to ensuring that the individual privacy of data is preserved. Thank you very much and have a beautiful day.
Thank you so much, Ali. So let's move on to our Q&A session. So if anyone has any questions, please enter them in the Q&A box below. Maybe we can start with how you work with larger food corporations and what do you expect from the partnership?
So since we're, thank you so much for the opportunity. Since we are a more scale-up level startup, we actually are in the stage where we work with corporations based on licensing agreements. In general, we do pilots whenever necessary to just show effectiveness in the particular area that the individual companies are interested in particular. But we do have global licensing agreements with larger companies, and that's generally the way we engage with companies.
Got it. And can you maybe describe one or two use cases that you've worked with larger food corporations?
Sure. So currently working with one of the larger food corporations on precision nutrition as it pertains to healthy aging and to sleep. We're also working on supplements, basically supplementation, design and formulation. Larger company that is engaged in supplements. So basically, primarily, there's both formulation side things and also analysis and programming side of things.
Got it. Thank you so much, Ali, for joining us today. So next up, we have Manmit from Turing Labs, an R&D digital transformation platform that top global CPGs trust. They evaluate and optimize R&D outcomes all in one place and faster than ever.
Hi, I'm Manmeet Shrimali, and I'm the co-founder CEO of Turing Labs. And Turing is a software, cloud-based software to help consumer packaged good companies develop superior products virtually. Turing is backed by Y Combinator and other investors. Why we build this? Because consumer preferences are changing faster than ever, and we know this firsthand. Like me and my co-founder both have 20 years of experience in this domain, and this is not news. Everybody knows that things are changing very, very fast. And for that, consumers demand more, and for that, brands develop more. That's why CPG companies develop more and more products. But here's a problem. It's very hard to develop blockbuster, fail-safe product. This is how it looks today. Starts with an idea, they do hundreds of iterations and come up with hundreds of different product variants to take each variant and do several tests in the labs and there are different test stages. And then they go to the consumer test, and then they get the market feedback. This entire loops repeats until they get it right. This process hasn't changed since 120 years. It's a long, iterative, and expensive cycle. And it's actually costing money and time. It takes about $400K to $7 million, 6 to 24 months to develop a product. And the current accuracy of ML algorithms is just 65%. We do that better and faster. With Turing, CPG companies do 10 times cheaper than the current spend per product. We do that in 10 weeks. And our accuracy is 20% more accurate than the existing ML algorithms because our engine is built for CPG product development data. It's the only algorithm that's out there that is highly accurate, and it will be going in the patent as well. Turing is a software for product development teams to develop better products virtually. It's the only software built for CPG that is a workflow and uses both data and human in the loop. How do we do it? Well, we take hundreds and hundreds of Excel sheets and PDF files and all the data that's stored in product development systems. We combine that and we create a Google-like search engine where they can search, and then from there they can simulate different tests and predict the test outcomes with 91% accuracy. Turing can also find optimal product formulations, packaging, and flavors from millions of combinations instantly. We are killing it. 2 people, just about a year in a business, we are making $500,000 in revenue, grew 400% in our account. We charge by brand format. So think about salad dressing comes in a bottle and sachets. So that's format. So we charge a product development license fee for each brand format. It's a massive market, $11 billion right now. Every year, just 50,000 new products gets launched every single year in North America, and they spend 400,000 at least in across all the experiments and trial and error process. For us, there are 4 different markets. There's a large enterprises like Pepsi and P&Gs and Unilevers of the world. Then there are other large enterprises. And then there are medium-sized companies like, for example, there are several medium-sized companies out there, and the retailers like Tesco. For Series A, we will get 22 out of current customer that we have, the formats out of 400 formats. For Series A, we will be going to 6 formats from other large enterprise customer that we will acquire, 10 formats from others, medium-sized companies, and retailers will get 2 formats. Competition is there, but it's very generic. They are generic ML algorithms like data robots, which are not built for domain, not built for CPG R&D, are not very accurate. Then the consulting companies, not scalable. Just a Microsoft are there, but their core is Azure's, but rather than building a product development vertical solution. Our product has been used by global CPG companies. A few of them are world's top 5. Our accuracy has been tested, validated by global CPGs, and we currently have $60 million in ACV pipeline. Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Manmeet. So we'll go ahead and move on to the Q&A portion. Can you maybe describe how your platform differentiates from other that work on similar offerings?
Michelle, your voice was cutting off. I could not hear properly.
Sorry, can you maybe talk about your different products?
Yeah, so this product is has two differentiating. One is algorithm that we built for food and home care and personal care, which is outperforming existing algorithms. The second is a workflow. So you can actually go from idea to commercialization using an entire workflow across different test stages while collaborating with R&D scientists, brand managers, and formulators.
Got it. And can you maybe talk about the partnerships with larger food corporations you're working with?
Yeah, so currently Turing is getting used by large companies in home care and food space too. In food space, we are in salad dressings. They want to develop new innovative salad dressings and outperform the competition, and also reduce the cost by replacing with cheaper ingredients without impacting the product cost.
Got it. Thank you so much, Manmeet. Next up, we have John from Jimmy Ash. They're using transformational technology, which are patented factories to develop and manufacture better for you food and beverage products under the Go Free brand name.
Greetings. I am Jamshid Oshorian, founder and CEO of Jimmy Ash. I'm delighted working with our talented management team, and together we are delighted to participate in this platform today. At Jimmy Ash, we develop transformational technologies and better for you snacks and foods. We are committed to healthier communities and a healthier planet. 15 years ago, I made it my mission to transform savory snacks and fried food industries. I wanted to eliminate deep frying for making popular snacks, and also wanted to reduce the amount of fat in deep fried products. Experts were telling me that I was wasting my time. Today, we have a great story to share. Multiple product lines have been already developed and commercialized. Multiple lines of technologies and processes have been developed and implemented. The first line of product that I would like to bring to your attention is our water air-cooked snack food products. These products are comprised of six SKUs of savory snacks, potato chips, sweet potato chips, and our mini fries. Successful phase 1 commercialization took place at Wegmans. Sales were 2 times the established hurdle rate. Second phase commercialization is ongoing in central market. Repeat purchase intent is 90%, or rating is 8.8 out of 10, with half the participants giving us a perfect score. The next line of products that I would like to bring to your attention is our reduced fat deep fried products. Products that will be deep fried before consumption and will have a lot less fat. These products are scheduled for commercialization in the coming year. We have developed significant amount of innovative equipment and equipment designs. One of them is a multi-zone drying system, and I will be more than happy to discuss any of our developments with you at your convenience. Our technologies and methods are patented in up to 60 countries. Our equipment designs are patent pending in up to 40 countries. Go Free is a registered trademark in US, Europe, and a dozen other countries. We have built our first facility in Bakersfield, California, where all of our technologies and equipment have been implemented and installed. The facility is functional and operating. For Series A, we raised over $20 million, and we have dedicated that to achieving what I have already described so far and more. Series B is under consideration for up to $35 million in capital raise, In near term, next year, we want to achieve a run rate of 7.5 million in annual sales. At the same time, we want to contemplate building additional manufacturing facilities, each with a capacity of up to 25 million pounds of finished products per year. We serve significantly large industries with an aggregate total of over $300 billion in annual sales. It is our intent to transform in those industries, and in that light, we would welcome opportunities for discussions for strategic alliances and collaborations or participation in our Series B round. I thank you for hearing our stories, and I welcome your questions and any further discussions. Please feel free to contact us at your convenience. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Jamshid. So we'll move on to the Q&A portion.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. So can you talk a little bit about maybe a couple of projects that you've worked on before with some corporations?
The products that I worked with, the same operations you said?
With some corporations.
We had a drinkable product that we had worked in the past, and it was a different company, and I sold that company to PepsiCo. And in this company, we have talked with a number of strategic partners, potential strategic partners on their confidentiality agreements, and I will be more than happy to discuss that when an NDA is in place.
Okay. So what is your competitive advantage with your system? And also, can you describe maybe the costs associated with it?
The competitive advantage actually is numerous. I will be happy to discuss it in deep dive. We totally eliminate the deep frying process for making a snack food product such as potato chips. And in the area of deep fried products, we can produce products that have significantly less fat and less carcinogens after they are deep fried.
Got it. Thank you so much, Jamshid, for joining us today.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to be part of this platform.
Thank you. So next up, we have Paul from Biomes, a biotechnology and digital healthcare company based in Germany, which has set itself the task of improving people's lives by precision nutrition and health prevention.
I'm Kristen, Chief Product Officer of Biomes, and we focus on genomics-based health and lifestyle because we know that our well-being is coded in our DNA. And when I say DNA, I'm not just talking about our a little boring human DNA, I'm talking about our so-called second genome, about the bacteria community that we are sharing our bodies with in this very second. And our biggest bacteria community lives in our intestines, our so-called gut flora. And those little bugs are really important for our health and our well-being, not only because they protect us against viruses, teach our immune system, they also influence how many calories we harvest and how well we sleep. And thus, it's not a big surprise that we are not super happy and healthy any longer when our microbiome gets in an imbalance, which happens with our Western world lifestyle too many times, to be honest. Not only US Americans suffer from overweight and obesity and severe digestion problems, also Europeans do. And that's why we've developed an intestinal microbiota analysis that detects the bacteria DNA based on the latest biotech method called next-generation sequencing. With this, we can take the biological DNA out of a stool sample and convert it into digital DNA. And on this basis, with our unique and proprietary knowledge database, we can derive very personalized nutrition recommendations. Our proprietary knowledge database combines the findings of more than 7,000 worldwide clinical and scientific microbiome studies, and this is very unique. So with our digitized process, we have a quantum leap technology-wise, because classical analysis could only detect up to 15% of the microbiome, and we find almost 100% of the bacteria living in your intestines. So this is how the test looks like. It's a very easy to use collection kit that you can privately use at home. And 2 weeks later, you get a detailed online report with a number of topics such as immune synthesis, calorie harvest, and many more. And as I said, all the recommendations and all the interpretation is 100% evidence-based. So just as broad as the functions of our bacteria are our target groups. So on the upper side of the well-being score, we have people who want to improve and optimize their fitness, but we've got many people who want to improve their nutrition with personalized recommendations or who need help to lose weight. On the lower part of the well-being score, we obviously have people who are already suffering from problems. But if we only pick out the one example of personalized nutrition, we really see a hot global megatrend. So what's so special about us from Biomes? Well, it's our own laboratory. We sequence in-house so we can guarantee highly scalable processes. We are always at the forefront of R&D. We can scale up very easily and have the highest analysis depths of all tests you can find out there. And we've achieved all this within less than 3 years. So we founded the company in 2017, launched the test a little later, already gained more than €1 million revenue internationally last year. So the test is available in German, obviously, English, Spanish, and French. And nowadays we already signed pilot contracts with Big Pharma and the food industry. So our mission is to empower people to live healthier lives by giving them a better understanding of their microbiome and individual food recommendations. And now I'm very happy to answer all of your questions, maybe the team, the funding history, the competition, or whatsoever. Thanks for your attention.
Thank you so much, Kristen. And thank you for joining us today for the Q&A session. So we have a few questions here. So can you maybe explain how many different bacterial strains are in our microbiome? And for each individual, how many base pairs do you sequence?
That's a very good question, and it's not super easy to answer because our microbiome is just as individual as our fingerprint. So it differs from each individual how many bacteria strains you have in your guts. When you're very healthy and very diverse, it can be 1,000 strains, but we Western world people usually not have more than 100 different strains. And we can sequence all of them. We sequence the X16S gene. So we are not sequencing human DNA, we're sequencing bacterial DNA. And I already saw the question, what is digital DNA? Well, with our technology, we convert biological DNA into digital DNA to be able to analyze and interpret it.
Perfect timing. Thank you so much, Kristen.
You're welcome, thanks.
So next up, we have Batu Khan from Use Our Vision. They help brands capture, analyze, and reuse agile qualitative data, leveraging AI to create a human insight library.
Hello, this is Batu Khan, the founder of Use Our Vision. So when it boils down, brands have two functions: exploring new markets and exploiting those markets. They use numerous analytics tools to understand what consumers do, what their consumers do, and optimize their businesses. Yet there's no single tool to capture why consumers act in a certain way and the motivations of consumers, which we call thick data. To understand their consumers holistically, brands turn to market research agencies. Yet at these agencies, the data generated is not digitized, so they cannot use the data stored or shared among the organization or build upon that data. The traditional market research is very human dependent, which makes them slow, cumbersome, and expensive. And lastly, the market research agencies doesn't allow brands to capture quick, let's say 20 minutes of insights or help brands to conduct their own research. To solve this problem, we have created Use Our Vision to bring human intelligence at a scale. So where Google provides analytics at a dashboard, we provide voice of the consumer. The more research we do, the better we know about different consumer groups and their needs. So how does it work? A client would enter its target audience and goals, and Use Our Vision could start capturing qualitative data in less than a week. Remote research allows brands to quickly and cost-effectively reach to targeted audiences. So the platform helps to streamline the process and direct its clients to the right research methodology and reveals automated patterns through natural language processing. We are on our way combining these explicit patterns with implicit biometric data to reveal actionable insights and store all this data at a searchable human intelligence hub so that it can be deepened and reused. So although this is an old industry, the market is bigger than cloud services and will grow even more rapidly considering the emphasis of human centricity. There are many players in such a huge market, but we are the only company that could provide an end-to-end solution. Being end-to-end doesn't mean that we are a combination of different products, but we created a unique methodology where we use the data from the whole process to generate insights that actually work. Hence, our process and artificial intelligence is unique. So companies could use our platform for reaching out to highly targeted audiences and hearing their voice of the consumer, but also pay us a monthly fee to make their insights actionable and searchable through a human intelligence library. They can also hire researchers to conduct research on their behalf. So until now, we have had the chance to work with more than 40 enterprises all over the world. Of course, this is all possible with a great team. I've been an entrepreneur for 8 years and written my first line of code in elementary school. I'm also providing research consultancy to Fortune 500 brands and have published many articles over research methodologies. My partner, on the other hand, has working knowledge to manage tech teams and over technology and creating a SaaS business. As advisors, we have onboarded Don Peppers, the founding father of CRM and customer experience domain, to create a totally different domain, human experience. And Umut, who is the ex-CTO of many conglomerates in Turkey, is guiding us to create a SaaS business. So leveraging our methodology, our market knowledge, and our platform, our artificial intelligence, we are ready to help food and beverage companies to amplify their competitive edge. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, Batukan. So let's move on to the Q&A portion. Can you maybe give an example of a success case or case study that you worked on with the corporate and how you achieved it?
Yep. So yeah, basically we have worked with many different enterprises, but the best use case is a conglomerate or a company comes to us with a certain question, wants to hear the voice of the customer, understand the motivation and the perception of the customer. So basically they can just click a button and conduct either in-depth interviews by themselves through our platform, which we allow them to conduct their own interviews, or they can hire a moderator and an analyst from our platform to do it from their behalf. And in the end, our platform helps them to easily capture these insights, analyze these insights, and also retain these insights in an actionable way, basically.
Thank you so much, Batukan. So next up, we have Victor from Edamame. They provide nutrition solutions to businesses in the food, health, and wellness sectors by leveraging its cloud-based structures.
Hello, I'm Victor Panev, founder of Edamame. At Edamame, we believe that food is fundamental to human health and well-being, and that if people eat right, they can live long, healthy lives without chronic conditions. So we set out to organize the world's food knowledge and give it back to people so they can make the right food choices. As we developed the business, we quickly realized that the best place to meet people is where they make food decisions, at grocery stores, restaurants, dietitian offices, and wellness programs. So our goal is to become the nutrition data agent behind every food, health, and wellness business in the world. And we are already well on our way with Nestle, Amazon, and Food Network among the many brands that trust us. To give you some example of how those clients use us, Nestle uses our data to do personalized meal recommendations for consumer-facing apps. Barilla uses our nutrition analysis for recipes that use their branded products. McCormick leverages 2 of our APIs to develop internal products and manage data. And this is just the beginning. We already have over 200 active deals in our pipeline, including CVS, Kroger, Kaiser Permanente. And also we have over 50,000 API subscribers. And we fully expect by the end of the year to be over 70,000. Of course, there are a number of companies that are providing competitive services, such as APIs from Nutritionix and Spinacular, or old hands in the nutrition analysis space like Azure Research. But what really differentiates us is a few things: our human level accuracy, leveraging proprietary natural language understanding and nutrition analysis algorithms that we've developed over years. Our affordability, we started $29 a month for developers, and probably the biggest and deepest data set of food and nutrition data in the world, with over 5 million recipes and 750,000 foods that are all nutrition tagged and analyzed for every nutrient, every allergen, every diet, and every chronic condition. Here's a quick look at all the products that we offer, anything from meal recommendation engine to nutrition analysis to food database lookup to recipe licensing and much more. Now, you may ask how this adds up to a business. Well, we estimate the worldwide market to be about 20 billion if you add up all the health, wellness, and food businesses that can use our data. Only in the US, it's 5 billion. We ended last year with over 600,000 of annualized run rate, and we are already profitable. The company has raised over $4 million, of which 2.4 million come from me personally, which leads me to our team. I'm a serial entrepreneur who founded and sold Bulgaria's largest internet company, but everybody on our leadership team has decades of experience in building startups. And we have probably the best engineering team out there in our niche, with people that have decades of experience in AI, semantic data, search, and software architecture. What we're looking for in this program is strategic partners to help us continue build and develop our data capabilities and ultimately deliver on the promise to help people eat better. We are also raising over 3 million in equity, mainly to accelerate our growth and do strategic help of the industry and also do geographic and product expansion. So I'm looking forward to the program. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Victor. So let's move on to our Q&A portion. Can you maybe describe how you work with larger corporations, especially on the food side?
Yeah, as the case studies in the presentation show, there are a few use cases. So some of them use our data to build healthy eating, personalized nutrition apps, and we are just the data engine powering those meal recommendations. Others use for nutrition analysis like Barilla, and other users for product formulations like McCormick when they're trying to figure out recipes and ingredients that would go for particularly well for recipes. So there are a few different use cases, but they all rotate around one of those three.
Got it. And how do you collect your data?
A lot of our data is generated internally. There is basic nutrient data that comes from USDA and a few other databases from around the world that we've collected, including some private databases. A lot of it is being curated by nutritionists and food experts over the years, but the nutrition analysis of those 5 million recipes and 750,000 foods and no restaurant items is something we generate internally, and it's proprietary, unique to us. So everything's analyzed for every allergen, every nutrient, every diet, every chronic condition. That's data that we generate, and it's owned only by us.
Got it. Thank you so much, Victor. I believe there is one other question. So if you want to stay on afterwards to answer it in the Q&A box, feel free. So next up, we have Rob from Purissima. They transform the supply chain for plant-based ingredients and deliver a broad range of natural, high-impact, made-to-order ingredients at commercial scale for personal care, consumer health, and nutrition.
Hi, my name is Rob Evans. I'm Chief Strategy and Business Officer and co-founder of Purissima. Purissima is the next generation natural ingredient company. And the problem that we address is that plants produce valuable therapeutics, but in small quantities over a long crop cycle, and many of these plants cannot be domesticated, rendering access to their valuable compounds at the very least impractical, but in most cases very expensive. We produce plant-derived compounds from plant-like organisms, and what's enabled our speed is the fact that almost $1 billion in capital was spent to develop large-scale heterotrophic fermentation of algae to produce triglyceride oils. We're directing that technology platform to produce high-value health and wellness ingredients that address global markets with a retail value of more than $345 billion. And we're already taking the first steps to demonstrate the future applications of that technology to produce advanced material scaffolds, production of novel chemical entities, ingredients that will one day serve as actives in approved pharmaceuticals. And this technology is readily licensable to partners who have a desire to produce using their own assets. Algae fermentation enables a paradigm shift in discovery and manufacturing of natural products. And what we mean by that is we take the plant out of the manufacturing equation. And what that enables us to do is to realize a production cycle of 1 week versus multiple months. We don't require pesticides, lights, large land use, and there's no potential for contamination in a sterile fermentation environment in stainless steel fermenters. And that enables us to produce products reliably with API purity that are customizable and scalable. This technology has been proven commercially at very large scale production to supply ingredients that go into soaps, surfactants, lubricants, food oils, food ingredients, and even actives in high-end consumer cosmetic products. Our team is comprised of individuals that have more than 180 years of relevant experience in genetic engineering, analytics, fermentation process development, integrated bioinformatics, and computational dynamic protein modeling. And we're fortunate to be able to call ourselves a resident of J&J Innovation, J Labs in South San Francisco. Today, we're producing compounds using small-scale fermentation for near-term sales. We've demonstrated biosynthesis of more than 20 unique compounds. These compounds fall into categories broadly in the carotenoid, terpenes, and prenylated lipids categories. We received notice of allowance on first patent applications, and additional filings are being drafted now. And today we're offering pre-marketing samples to clients. Purissima has raised a little over $6.2 million in equity financing across 2 rounds, and approximately $3.7 million has been spent on FTEs, lab equipment, space, legal, and IP costs, which we believe is sector-leading progress and capital efficiency. Algae have a number of advantages over other microbes. First of all higher plant life on the planet at one point evolved from algae, which is in essence a single-cell plant. Algae contains a plastid, and that enables partitioning of toxic intermediates, which is not possible using other microbial systems. Purissima is also unique in algae fermentation, being the only company using heterotrophic algae fermentation to produce natural health and wellness ingredients that we know of. We're looking for a strategic partner who has interest in accessing key ingredients produced using our platform and has a desire to provide joint development capital for commercial scale of those ingredients in exchange for strategic access rights. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Rob. So we will move on to our Q&A portion. How do you crack open the algae and segregate the byproducts in a cost-effective way?
Well, we actually can take 2 different approaches. Some ingredients are produced intracellularly, which means that you either have to fracture the cell or use some type of solvent to extract it. We're also producing other ingredients that are excreted, so you don't need to worry about fracturing the cell.
Got it. And what does the price look like for the ingredients that you're producing?
Well, it depends on the ingredient, but to give you some indication, a large-scale algae fermentation was capable of producing triglyceride oils, for costs in the $3 to $5 per kilo range. And so the potential to produce compounds, of a similar nature is very high. But at the end of the day, it depends on the productivity of the organism to produce a specific compound, but the potential to reduce costs is very substantial.
Got it. And are there any regulatory hurdles with your ingredients?
It depends on the end market. As I mentioned in the presentation, we go into cosmetics, food ingredients, and even as actives in pharmaceuticals, and all 3 have very different regulatory processes.
Got it. Thank you so much, Rob, for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
So next up, we have Gavino from ChronoGuard, an innovative product designed to significantly extend the shelf life of packaged food by reducing the formation of biofilm on packaging surfaces.
Good morning. My name is Gavino Bringhieri. I am CEO of Nice Fiddler. First of all, thank you very much to Plug and Play for this great opportunity to present our innovation here. We at Nice Fiddler deal with shelf life extension for the packaging industry, and we have developed a new solution we call ChronoGuard. Shelf life has always been an issue. Enhancing shelf life means helping to solve the most urgent problems that today are challenging the whole supply chain of the food industry, that are respect for the environment, request for eco-friendly packaging, safer solutions to protect customers in their changing consumption habits, and fight against food waste, which has a huge social impact. We have developed and patented a family of products used for treating materials, and thus greatly enhance protective properties of the packaging against food spoilage and finally extend the shelf life. Chronogel inhibits bacterial growth and can be applied to cellulose, polymers, and aluminum. Chronogel is not a single product, but a family of products, each targeting a specific type of food. It is very effective. In some cases, shelf life of fresh food can be easily doubled or even tripled. Here you can visually verify how effective it is against molds, for instance. We think global. The fresh food packaging market is huge and trend is upward. All players in the market are eager to find innovative solutions. But even if the request for shelf life solutions is high, no direct competitor so far has been able to get a significant share of the market. Of course, during time, different techniques have been developed to protect food and extend the shelf life. Food producers, for instance, use preservatives. Packaging industries adopt barrier materials, modified atmospheres, and other techniques. Chronogel can be used either in substitution of such solutions or in combinations with them to increase the overall effect. We are a team of 12 seniors and juniors. We are technicians, researchers, managers, marketing and salespeople, covering all aspects of the business. Our intellectual property is protected by 2 patents already granted, and a new application is ongoing. We estimated more than 11 person-years of research and development behind our products. Chronogel starts from academic research. We are a spin-off of the University of Salerno. In the last 2 years, thanks to a European grant, we have extensively worked outside of our laboratories to develop the industrial applications. Sales are about to start. We are already working with leading companies in Italy and abroad, preparing pre-series production according to their specific needs, ready to be tested in final use conditions. What is that we are asking from the corporates? We can study and implement new solutions according to partners' needs in order to enrich the portfolio of applications and demonstrate the effectiveness of Chronogel in different use cases. We believe that today's partners are the customers of tomorrow. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you so much, Gavino. So let's move on to our Q&A. Do you have any applications in packaged foods? And if so, can you share any current case studies?
Oh, yes, of course we have. So good morning again to everybody. Yes, for instance, I can tell you about one of our recent cases. We applied. We have been asked by large Italian berry producers to help them substitute their current plastic boxes with more eco-friendly carton trays. They had the problem that while adopting this eco-friendly material, the shelf life of the products were going down dramatically. And by using our technology, they treated the plastic, the carton boards and obtained exactly the same shelf life for berries as with plastics.
Got it. Thank you so much, Gavin. So next up, we have Chris from Paragon Pure. They aim to understand the science of nature to create genuine ingredients for delivering natural flavors, colors, and nutrients into wholesome foods.
My name is Chris Gregson, CEO of Paragon Pure. We create consumer-friendly food ingredient technologies that protect delicious naturally. Encapsulation is a technology that protects sensitive ingredients, like lime oil and beet juice, by enrobing them in a coating called a carrier. The result is a highly concentrated powder used like a super intense seasoning salt. Many packaged foods would not be possible without this technology. Unfortunately, the synthetic carriers currently used are some of the least accepted of all food additives. Yet consumers are willing to pay more for friendlier products. The only reason these objectionable additives are still used is that nobody has yet developed a suitable replacement, until now. We've created CaptaClean, the all-natural solution for fresh flavors, beautiful vibrant colors, and much more. The magic of the technology is in the ingenious process. It starts with whole grain rice, one of the most consumer-friendly of all food ingredients. We use sprouting to convert rice into an ideal carrier. We know how to guide the sprouting process to create a flour with exactly the properties we need. We apply this natural carrier within standard encapsulation processes like spray drying. The result is a consumer-friendly technology that protects sensitive natural ingredients with a process that fits into existing supply chain infrastructure. Our customers are ingredient suppliers that manufacture sensitive natural ingredients, like IFF, Sensient, and Givaudan. Just as consumers are demanding more natural food products, food manufacturers like PepsiCo are demanding the consumer-friendly ingredients that make them possible. Our business model is to license our technology to the ingredient suppliers. Encapsulated food ingredients are a $60 billion global market. We're targeting a $25 billion sector that includes natural colors, essences, and fruit. By partnering with leading suppliers, we aim to ultimately achieve annual revenues of $150 million. As far as competing technologies go, they all have deficiencies, whether it be the use of undesirable carriers, the lack of protection for sensitive ingredients, or the high capex of specialized processing equipment. CaptaClean is unique. It provides the ultimate in natural, authentic, high-performance encapsulation. Paragon Pure was incorporated with funding from SOSV and FoodX. We rapidly developed our minimum viable product, confirmed the need for the solution, gained a positive regulatory opinion on ingredient labeling, and filed for patent protection. We then began establishing partnerships with ingredient suppliers. We're now working with 6 companies, including 2 top 5 flavor houses. The next step is to drive these partnerships to commercialization via joint development agreements. The model is repeatable. We have a pipeline of projects for future innovations which meet needs for consumer-friendly and eco-friendly encapsulation solutions. In fact, we have 2 new patent applications already filed. The runway for meaningful revenues is about 2 years. After this, revenue growth will be rapid and further accelerated as we expand to new ingredient segments and build additional technologies. Technologies in this space are extremely sticky, and recurring sales can last several decades. We expect high gross margin revenues of about $8 million by 2023, growing to $50 million by 2025. We have an unfair advantage that makes us uniquely suited to solve this problem. Our team. We're industry insiders with deep experience in both natural carrier ingredients and encapsulation technology. And we'd love for you to join us on our quest to protect delicious naturally.
Thank you so much, Chris. So let's move on to our Q&A portion. In what types of conditions is your technology stable? Heat, pH, light?
Hi, yes. So our solution is a drop-in replacement for the most common type of encapsulation used in the food industry, which is a spray-dried encapsulation. So in terms of stability and the different environments, we are very stable in low moisture applications. And that is the target that we are after with this application. So it works very well with low moisture applications such as snack chips and breakfast cereals.
Got it. And what sort of products are you currently working on with your current partnerships?
So we are working on the encapsulation of natural flavors of a variety of different types, as well as natural colors. And we're starting to look into the encapsulation of sensitive nutraceutical compounds.
Got it. Thank you so much, Chris, for joining us today.
Pleasure.
So next up, we have Tom from Protifarm, a producer of and licensor of production solutions for sustainable functional ingredients from insects for the food industry.
My name is Tom Moorman, presenting Protifarm. I'm telling you something big is happening. Climate change is a reality, and action is needed sooner than we thought. The current moment presents an opportunity to create a new global protein system for a sustainable, nutritious, and equitable food supply. The problems in the world are reflected by younger generations striving for a healthier lifestyle and food that is sustainably produced. This is not a trend, but a disruptive change. And the increasing awareness results in a push for more on innovation in replacement foods and ingredients, leading to a continuous growing market of alternative protein up to 16.5 billion euros in 2025. That's why our mission at Protifarm is to feed the world without consuming the earth. And insects are a great solution because they can be raised on a tiny fraction of the land, water, and feed compared to conventional cattle. But insects are more. They're nutritious powerhouses containing protein, vitamin, minerals, fibers, and healthy fats. But how do you make mainstream food out of insects? By producing recognizable ingredients and producing recognizable food for everyday recipes. Ladies and gentlemen, meet Adelba Pro, the world's first food ingredient range made from insects. Our Adelba Pro ingredient line offers technical functionality like texture, binding, and solubility. Adelba Pro offers tailor-made solutions for the food industry in bakery, savory, beverages, meat alternatives, and anything else you can imagine. Scientific research by the University of Maastricht shows that we're on par with milk protein, resulting in a proposition that delivers the highest quality protein on the sustainability level of plant-based alternatives. And our solution is extremely scalable. It can be set up anywhere in the world. With feed as its only variable cost driver, scale makes this an extremely competitive source of high-quality nutrition. The unique combination of biology through genetic knowledge and automation with IP makes it very difficult to enter this market. And with novel food legislation set in place soon, markets will be opening all over the world. Protifarm's current plan in the Netherlands forms the basis for an international rollout, accelerating Protifarm's impact based on our strong patented IP. We have already reached an agreement for the first licensing plan with a European multinational. And our products find their way to the market, resulting in over 2 million euro sales this year. Protifarm has a unique position, with focus on high-margin food with functional ingredients. And in the meanwhile, Protifarm has a guaranteed sales contract in place for surplus production into the feed market, de-risking scaling up, securing contribution, and growing in high-margin food. Grow with Protifarm. We are looking for 20 million euro growth capital for further expansion, completing our phase 2, where we will prove the market, breed, process, and sell on industrial scale, and be prepared for phase 3, our international global rollout with license plans. Or grow with us by working on the development of products within clear defined opportunity platforms through in-depth consumer research. And join our journey in feeding the world without consuming the earth.
Thank you so much.
My name is Tom.
So let's move on to our Q&A portion. So if anyone has any questions for Tom, please enter them in the Q&A box below. So let's start with Tom, can you maybe describe the organoleptic characteristics of your products?
The organoleptic characteristics. Well, that differs. It depends on what type of product we in the end produce. But one of the most important reasons why we've chosen this specific species is because of its mild and neutral flavor and taste. And that makes it a very interesting ingredient to use for the food industry. If you take the textured, fiber-structured protein that we developed, that has a very mild and neutral taste. But if you go a little bit more concentrating the product and go to a protein concentrate, for example, it gets a little bit more umami flavor.
Got it. And have you, what type of products have you already formulated with your product line?
That can be literally anything. It goes from meat, analogs, ice cream, bakery products, sport nutrition, you name it.
Got it. Thank you so much, Tom, for joining us today.
Most welcome.
So next up, we have Zachary from Fresh Bowl, a tech-enabled sharing platform that uses closed-loop goods to build direct relationships with consumers.
Hi, everyone. My name is Zach Loss. I'm the founder and CEO of Fresh Bowl, a tech-enabled food brand that is focused on empowering a new form of consumer behavior around closed-loop systems and shared economies. The problem we are solving is one that I'm sure that all of us have faced, which is trying to eat conveniently and quickly, or trying to eat healthy for themselves. What we found is that there's an inverse relationship between quality and convenience. Likewise, there is an inverse relationship between convenience and sustainability. Oftentimes we're left with what I like to call your trophy of shame after eating your lunchtime meal. That's the pile of single-use plastics that's left over to just let you know the impact that you're having on the environment every time that you have your lunchtime meal. So this is a massive market. The ready-made meal market is projected to be $143 billion by 2023. Additionally, the subset for sustainability that we're focusing on, over 66% of consumers are willing to pay more for sustainable products, and that includes 73% of millennials. So it's not even just a large subset already, but it's large and growing. The solution that we're providing is fresh, healthy, ready-made meals in reusable containers, all of which can be returned to any of our kiosks or partner locations throughout the city. This is great because it creates not just a loyalty program through sustainability, but it also allows us to build a direct relationship with our consumer. And that every time somebody returns or redeems their credits, they do so through a unique identifier, in this case, their cell phone number. So we're able to not only understand their purchasing behaviors on an individual level, we're actually able to directly communicate with them for things like feedback, in which 65% of our consumers are actually participating in two-way conversation. Sustainable packaging is not just something that is a good way to communicate with our customers or something that is a part of our mission. It is actually more profitable when done in a way where we're getting high levels of return. So we're able to actually beat our packaging costs of single use by 41% through the program. And our pilots in the market have been really successful. We're getting an annual revenue of $80K per unit, an average customer satisfaction score of 4.8. 85% of our jars are getting returned, which equates to around 6.67 uses per jar. So very excited about the data, but really excited about how this is pushing consumer engagement. On average, we're getting about 4.1 uses per user on a monthly basis. It appears to be a typo there, but yeah, it's 4.1 times on a monthly basis. Our customers love us. They're constantly tagging us in videos and posts online. We sit at a unique intersection of not just food, but also sustainability, where people are very passionate about what we're doing. So we're excited to see the customer support along with the engagement as well too. It's a great team behind us. We have Paul Christoph, who's a two-time founder as well, and a really talented software engineer. Myself, who has a background in finance and real estate, and then Chloe Bichot, who runs our food and operation logistics. We have a great board of investors and advisors behind us too. with Ben Ling of Blink Capital leading our pre-seed round, Lorenzo Thorne of Bing, who is Lorenzo Thorne, Daniel Armstrong, Evan Moore, and Nick Toronto, who sit on our board of advisors as well too. And so we are raising $2 million. We're raising $2 million to fund us to 100 machines in New York over the next 18 months, and to provide the necessary equipment, working capital to get us to that goal as well too. So thank you so much for your time. I'll open it up to questions.
Thank you so much, Zach. So let's move on to our Q&A. How do you differentiate versus competitors with a similar product? You're on mute, Zach. You can hear me.
Hi, can you hear me? I think what differentiates us from competitors with a similar product is our focus around sustainability. And not only have we shown that it drives loyalty and then we can get high levels of returns, but the network that we're building inside of a city, getting hundreds of these machines placed into public locations, allows us to have a really powerful network when it comes to enabling that kind of consumer behavior for our products and for potentially other products going forward.
Got it. And do you expect any consumer behavior change with COVID-19, kind of returning containers and food safety concern?
We have seen some upfront changes due to COVID initially at the beginning, but what we've seen is kind of a drive back towards sustainability, kind of the repercussions of what is the amount of additional waste that's been created through COVID. We're now getting more outreach than ever for the product type.
Got it. Thank you so much for joining us today, Zach.
Thank you.
So our last and final startup is going to be Better Foods. The world's first food tech company focused on tempeh fermentation to produce nutritious, delicious, organic, plant-based proteins. So please welcome Chris.
Hi, I'm Chris, the CEO and co-founder of Better Nature.
And I'm Ando, the CTO and co-founder of Better Nature.
At Better Nature, we make protein the better way. As we all know, people all over the world are becoming increasingly concerned about the impact of meat consumption. However, whilst the plant-based market was booming, we felt it wasn't prioritizing people's key motivator, health. In a study published last year, it was found that concerns about cost and health are the main drivers of the reduction of meat consumption. But most plant-based companies have been using texturized vegetable proteins, which, in order to mimic the texture of meat, require the use of a long list of binding and gelling agents that are not recognizable by consumers. As a result, there's a growing voice of concern around the use of such ingredients. 6 in 10 consumers are looking for all-natural food products, and 41% of consumers are looking for plant-based food products without any artificial ingredients. So what if I told you that there exists a delicious, nutritious, and all-natural food ingredient that's able to mimic the protein content and texture of meat without any artificial or ultra-processed ingredients? That food ingredient is tempeh.
Tempeh is a delicious, nutritious, and all-natural fermented food ingredient originated in Indonesia 300 years ago. It is made using tempeh fermentation, a low-cost food processing technology that can increase the protein content of any bean, nut, and legume by 20%, and decrease the fat content by 40%. Our tempeh has similar quantity and quality of protein as beef, all with a carbon footprint that is just 45 times smaller. It can also be used in all sorts of dishes. And this technology of tempeh fermentation is still extremely nascent, but there's plenty of scope for us to innovate and create defensible IP, which is exactly what we're doing. At Better Nature, we're the world's first food tech company that focuses on tempeh fermentation and innovation. We're creating proprietary methods and non-GMO fermentation cultures to enhance the nutritional and sensory qualities of our tempeh. So far, we have created a novel method to halve the fermentation time to just 18 hours. And we're also developing our tempeh to be a complete source of nutrition, starting with vitamin B12. We're currently in the process of launching 4 meat alternative products: a bacon, a mince, lupin tempeh, and soy tempeh, which will be in UK retailers by the end of this year. we're also excited about new alternative meat products, such as the Better Burger. It's wholesome, all natural, and tastes great. It has 15 grams of protein, 6 grams of fiber, and less than 1 gram of saturated fat per patty. It's all thanks to the tempeh fermentation miracle. And we will start by selling via premium UK retailers and e-commerce platforms to quickly establish our brand before moving into large UK multiples after that. And luckily for us, there's no better place in the world to start our type of business than the UK. Last year, the UK launched more vegan products than any other nation, and the domestic meat-free market is expected to exceed $1 billion next year. And with the team that we have, we believe that we are in the best position to take tempeh to the mainstream and to create foods that are better for people, better for the planet, and better for animals. I graduated from the University of Oxford with a master's in biochemistry, and prior to graduating, worked at McKinsey. And Ando is currently wrapping up his PhD on tempeh fermentation at UMass Amherst. He has won 31 awards for his work on the technology, making him a leader in the field. Since our founding just 11 months ago, we've won 2 international food tech competitions, and were rated the best startup of the cohort of the ProVeg Incubator program based in Berlin. We are now a finalist of the European Institute of Technology's Food Accelerator program and are looking to raise $2 million to invest in further R&D, product development, marketing, and manufacturing. We want to continue to develop proprietary technology to make our tempeh a complete source of nutrition, such that our customers don't need to worry about taking dietary supplements if they consume our products. And we want to establish ourselves as the leading tempeh brand in the UK, to launch the Better Burger, and to establish a manufacturing facility to significantly increase our margins and our capacity. We're better nature, and we make protein the better way. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chris. So we'll move on to our Q&A session. Can you maybe explain for the audience what exactly is tempeh? Is it a type of yeast or is it a type of fungi?
Right, yeah, so I think the best way to understand tempeh would be to see it as a hybrid between plant and fungal protein. So it's a product of a process known as tempeh fermentation, which effectively uses any plant-based substrate as its base and envelops it in pure fungal protein. So it's a bit of both.
Got it.
It's a solid state fermentation process, so it's not yeast or bacterial.
Got it. And in your presentation, you said that you're creating your own product line. Are you also open to working with corporations for joint development projects and what that might look like?
Yes, absolutely. So what we're trying to create is a platform we're basically developing novel fermentation starter cultures to produce the most delicious and nutritious tempeh, which we see as an ingredient, not necessarily as an end product. So moving forward, we definitely see the application of tempeh as an ingredient, not only in meat alternatives, but also in plant-based beverages and plant-based baking applications like croissants and that sort of thing. So we're definitely, at the moment, proving out that technology and developing proof of concepts to integrate tempeh as an ingredient.
Got it. Thank you so much, Chris, for joining us today and wrapping up our pitch session. So again, thank you to all of the 27 startups and of course our amazing partners for joining us today for our Food Batch 8 Selection Day. And with that, I'll pass it off to Brian for closing remarks.
All right, well, that concludes the main event today. Thank you, Michelle Shi, for organizing this whole thing and leading this whole event. And again, big thank you to the startups who spent all the time preparing these presentations in advance and sticking around to answer questions. I know the session took some time today, so again, thank you for all the hard work and making it amazing. There's some really amazing technologies here, and we're all really excited to work with you in the upcoming batch. So just to get a reminder for our partners, please do not forget to vote. It's very important. Just ask your account manager or Gabby or me or anybody else if you have any trouble. And also make sure to choose the 6 startups that you saw here today that you'd like to meet during the deep dive sessions on Thursday. And again, just let your account manager or Gabby know. So on the screen here, you see a alternative proteins webinar. We're hosting a meetup on July 22nd, so next week, focused on alternative proteins. We'll have speakers from the Good Food Institute, Unilever, and Rebellious Foods to discuss their perspectives on this market and some of the factors that are leading to consumer demand and diversification and the production side. So should be a really interesting conversation, and just let us know if you're interested in joining. We'd love to have you. That's a wrap for today. So thanks for joining. And again, thank you to Anchor Partners for making this possible, for joining the session. And hope to see you, well, definitely see you tomorrow for the board meeting. And for any questions about Chicago, the startups, or anything else, just feel free to reach out to Gabby, me, or your account manager, and we'll get those answered for you. So see you next time.